Can I get a microphone check? Can I get a microphone check? Hello, hello, everybody. What's going on? We have the NR2003 Daytona 500 coming your way here today, so I'm very excited. 100 laps this is going to be, by the way. So, just a heads up before we get rolling here. Very straightforward. We're doing 25 lap stages, 25 lap stage 1, 25 lap stage 2, and then a 50 lap stage 3. So very, very excited. I'm going to have Jay in the booth with us here in just a few moments time. But of course, before we start, just want to say hello to everybody here. Hello to Nick's NASCAR Applebee's Cup Series. Twisted, what's up? How you doing? Radiation Racing, hello to you. Hello Hooper, Cool Man Jero, Mr. Milkman's here, Tanner, how you doing? Jeff Dement, Bobby Birch, everybody, Adrian's here. Love to see the turnout already here as we're getting ready to get this underway here. So I'm going to open up NR 2003 in just a moment, and everything's already set. So we're just going to dive in, start the race basically, and get the show on the road in just a few moments' time. SRT, how you doing, sir? Lil Roan 09, what's up? Mr. Unique, Shockwave, Samuel Z, KCT as well. How did you know I was here? I saw you earlier in the chat. You did type. Or did you? Yeah, no you did. You typed sup. Hello, what the dog doing as well. So, let's bring Mr. Cook into the booth here before we get the show on the road, shall we? Mr. Cook, hello, you got a copy?
I'm here.
There he is. Hello, how you doing?
I'm good.
You ready to do some NR 2003?
Darn right I am.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Everybody, I'm sure, is ready to watch here. I'll share my screen here in just a few moments, guys. Now, I'm just pulling up the game as we speak. Jay, I'm excited. We've had a nice off season. We did the duels the other day, and it was fun to watch. Now we have 100 laps at the Daytona 500. It seems like the next-gen mod with this AI has a really, really good balance, which I think is going to be really fun to watch for us.
Yeah, the duels, they weren't very exciting, but I have a feeling this 500 is going to be a whole lot different. We're going to have 41 cars in the field instead of just the 20 that we had in each duel. So that's going to double the field, is certainly going to make it a lot more exciting, I think, and we are going to be in store for a pretty good race and in store for a very good start to the NR 2003 season as well. I'm really looking forward to using this mod and to once again doing another simulation and seeing how it follows along with real life, kind of like it did last year. It was, for the most part, pretty accurate.
You know what I just thought about, Jay? I should probably share my screen.
Yeah, I was waiting on that.
Here. So let me do that right now, and then we will, of course, see what the heck is going on here. So there you go. And now Jay can see what's happening. That was my bad. I completely forgot about that. But now let's get ready to go here. So like we said, 100 laps around Daytona. Pretty straightforward. 25 laps stage 1, 25 laps stage 2, 50 laps stage 3. Did you get all your paint schemes from one guy or from multiple? Let's ask Jay that question. Jay did all the behind-the-scenes car work. So Jay, did you see like where you got them from? Was it one specific person? Or?
And it was all over the place. Most of them were from one specific person, but there was still quite a few that came from all over the place on the website. But I'll see if I can find the person's name real quick of who I got most of them from.
There you have it right there now, as we are ready to get the show on the road here now, as we are running 41 cars, not 40, because we didn't have a Greg Biffle car that we were able to bring into the duels, so he couldn't really be in a go or go home position, so we just threw a 41st car into the mix now, as Jay literally, like 5 minutes I think before we started the stream, was able to pick up a Greg Biffle car. So we got the car now, and we're going to see how he does here in the Daytona 500 for NR 2003. So let's get ready to jump into the race. Jay, just to verify, you can see everything with NR 2003 on your screen?
Yep,
okay,
I got it just fine.
So, like we said, guys, Daytona, of course, we're running the BBMC 2020 version, 100 laps. We're doing a pit stop frequency on 1X simply because Pit stops, you don't really want those at these plate races. So there won't be any necessary pit stops in stage 1 or 2, but stage 3 we will need one mandatory pit stop. 105% AI is what we are running on. So hopefully it'll put on a good show here now, as we're going to have 41 cars ready to take the green flag here now. But what's going on in the chat before we dive on in? You just crashed into Lando? Oh no. Did you see the new Mercedes car? I did love it. Really nice livery. You
The
did your
person
own.
that I got. Oh, sorry, Gary.
No,
The
go
person I
ahead.
got most.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Goodness. The person that I got most of the paint schemes from. I can't quite say the username, but it's like it's Annie Maverso 848. I think that's how you say it. That's where I got most of the paint schemes from on Stunode. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I suddenly swallowed some dust because I'm choking up over here. I don't know what is happening. Hang on, let me drink some water.
Jay's choking. Absolutely twisted. It's actually like really, really easy. You'd have it set up in like 5 minutes tops. But you did your own Daytona 500, and I got Chris Buescher, Gilliland, Reddick, Hemrick, and Chastain as a top 5. Saw that you got blocked by Regan Smith. How does it feel to get blocked by a famous person? I was trying to get blocked, actually. That's why I added him. And he did it, so I was happy, actually. Hello, AMX, by the way. Who did you get 40 cars? Say what now? Oh, how did you get? Well, Jay was able to find a whole bunch of them on a website and throw them into the game. But hello, the NASCAR Nick. But yeah, Mercedes livery looks beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely love it. Yeah, I saw RFK got their wheels confiscated along with Penske. But let's dive into it, shall we?
Is it 110 the max AI or is it 105?
110.
You had it on 105, dingus.
Yeah, I know. I did that on purpose.
Okay.
With testing, there were still crashes on 105, so I mean it could go either way though from my testing. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a cloudy day here from Daytona, from the looks of it, for the 500. And before, let's accelerate just a little bit. Oh boy, it. Oh god. Let's stop that. Oh, she
yeah,
died.
Don't think your computer like that.
It did not like that. But let's actually go through the starting order real quick here. Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano on the front row. We saw Joey Logano caught up in a bit of, we'll call it drama last night in the duels there, chat. If you watched the duels, what did you think of it? We thought it was pretty interesting, Jay and I did. Logano threw a bit of a rough block on the end of that race in duel number 2. And, well, we saw how it turned out for him. But, I mean, Jay, we know here in the NR2003 Daytona 500, it really does not matter where in the world you start, because anybody in this field right here, 41 cars, can win this race, especially in NR2003.
Yeah, and especially, too, you want to also, I think, maybe be in the back, at least for the start of this this race, because you don't know exactly what everybody's going to be looking to do, and you're also still figuring out this package now with an entirely full field. So I think that maybe being up, you either want to be right up front or right in the back. If you're in the middle, you're probably going to be scared because, I mean, even in the duels with 20 cars, there were 3 wide. I can't imagine what they're going to be with a full field of 40 cars now.
Absolutely. Here, I mean, looking through the grid order as well, there you see some new teams with Kurt Busch there on the 2311 expansion there, and that Monster Energy number 45 at Toyota Camry. As well, you got Daniel Suarez in that Freeway 99 car side by side with Eric Jones, but brand new in the background here, Chastain, an expansion on top of Trackhouse, and now second car for Advent Health. To the left-hand side of him, you got Brad Keselowski, his first ride with this team here in a points counting race. Jay, we just saw them win the duels last night, RFK did, but I mean, already a nice step for that team. What do you expect to see out of this RFK team here with this Brad Keselowski co-ownership coming in this year?
Well, I wasn't really sure, and I'm still not really sure now, because after last week, or 2 weeks ago, start at the Coliseum, it was looking pretty rough for that team. And then suddenly after last night, now it's looking pretty decent for that team. So honestly, I don't really know. I think that the 500 is not really going to show what their real performance is like at all. No matter how well or how bad they do, we're not really going to figure it out until we get into the meat and bones of the sport, which is the 1.5 miles, short tracks, all that kind of stuff, away from the plate tracks where you're utilizing draft. So I don't know if I can really expect anything from that team other than just trying to figure things out for the first couple of races.
Greg Biffle there at the bank. You got Canadian Jacques Villeneuve in the number 27 Hesselberg Systems Ford Mustang here in the mix as well. The 1997 Formula One World Champion that is here now, as we are set to go green here in just about a minute and a half. So we might as well just wait it out at this point here. I forgot to change the ticker, so we are using the NBC Sports ticker still for the at least Daytona 500. This will be likely the only race that we live stream this season. Should point that out as well here now, as we'll probably just be doing the normal standard record and upload for the rest of the races, unless maybe we live stream the championship race, but we will wait and see. That's always a possibility, but other than that, this is one, and maybe Phoenix at the end of the year we will live stream. But literally Duel 1 and 2 were similar situations with the Fords, but Duel 2 more action. Yeah, Duel 2 was significantly more entertaining, I felt like. And Jay, I was a little bit concerned after watching Duel 1 IRL, but I felt like Duel 2 really gave us a taste for what these guys are capable of with this car. I mean, we only saw, I think, 3 wide like once or twice the whole night, but obviously they proved that they're able to still plate race just fine like they were in Gen 6. It was just, I guess there wasn't much of a need to do it last night.
I think the biggest thing that I'm kind of learning and taking away from, and so far, it seems like this package in real life matches pretty accurately the package to iRacing. And on that, what I have noticed is when you get single file, you can easily have 3, 4, 5 cars break away for the lead, and then everybody else, no matter if it's 10, 15, 12 cars, whatever it is, they'll somehow fall back. And the moment you get off of that lead pack, you are not going to be able to catch them back down unless you get down into a 3, 4 car group yourself and run them down. But if you go 2 wide, you can make all kind of crazy moves happen. You can make 3 wide work. You can do all this stuff with momentum. So it seems like that straight lines, or the single file lines, are going to be a huge advantage, but the moment you get a second lane formed is when all the craziness is going to happen. And I think that's what we're going to see happen in real life. But as far as NR goes, this package is wild all the way through. We're going to see him be 3 wide probably the majority of this race, unless we start having some crashes to take out cars. And the biggest thing we're also going to have to worry about too is if we do get crashes, we're going to suddenly see the lap cars start to play an issue again, which is going to be really unfortunate.
Absolutely. Now they're about to get rolling here on the grid. What happened in NASCAR, my driver? Absolutely nothing happened. It will be back here tomorrow. Should be back with a premiere after the Xfinity race at some point. You heard the command right there. The engines are about to fire, and we are about to be under green flag conditions here as the pace car gets rolling. Chat, get your picks in now. Who do you think is going to win here in Daytona? Jay, we do this in the G lobbies. We're going to take it over to NR2003. We never know who in the world to pick for this, but if you have to take one driver, who are you going to pick here for the NR2003 Daytona 500?
I think I'm going to look at Denny Hamlin. We saw him be strong in the duel, and I think that Denny Hamlin is going to once again prove to be very good at plate tracks, whether it's next gen or Gen 6. Denny Hamlin knows how to get it done at these type of tracks with this type of package, so I think that he is going to be my pick.
There you have it. And I see a Christopher Bell pick, a Briscoe pick, a Denny Hamlin pick, a Haley pick, a Kyle Busch. I'm going to go with, I'm going to say the same pick actually as my IRL pick for this weekend with the Daytona 500. That is going to be Ryan Blaney here in the NR 2003 series as well. I see some Daniel Hemricks as well. Did you hear that it's going to be sunny for Sunday finally? I did. I heard, about a week ago we were a little bit concerned with the weather, but I guess it's actually looking like it's going to be pretty good. So, Jay, before we go green, real life Daytona 500, it looks like we're finally going to get a Sunday sunny race, which is like a huge. We haven't had that in I don't know how long.
I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not going to say anything
Knock
like
on
that
wood
at all, because we'll curse it. And simply because in Florida, rain can strike at any moment. I'm not saying anything about the weather until we get there.
Absolutely. You never know what I'm not American, but obviously I've watched enough NASCAR to see in Florida, you never know what the weather's really going to do until like a minute before it happens. It's unbelievable how it works there. Now is the pace car ready to pull off for 100 laps around Daytona in NR 2003. There's no lucky dogs, unfortunately. There's no potential overtimes here in this series, but we do the best we can with the resources that we have. And the Daytona 500 is going to be underway with Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano leading the field to the green flag flag. Jay, immediately, one of the big differences with this car we've noticed so far in this series is the speeds. These cars with this mod in this NR 2003 game, they are significantly slower than what we saw with Gen 6, and we especially see that right here when they're getting up to speed. They really take a good amount of time to really get going.
Yeah, I mean, this is way back to like Gen 4 days of the same thing where it would take them forever to get rolling up. It would take them sometimes a lap and a half to really get up to full speed, and we're kind of seeing the same thing now with this package, at least on the NR side of things, and they are really slow, like you mentioned, compared to how they used to be, but that does not mean a shortage of action-packed racing, because you're already seeing Denny Hamlin straight up the middle there, 3 wide, lap 1. He's not going to waste any time to get it going here and trying to get himself right up towards the front. And we're going to see that happen a whole lot. Even though they're slower, they are still able to make some pretty crazy racing happen.
Martin Truex Jr. leads the first lap of the season in our 2022 season here for NR 2003. If you watched last season along with us, Martin Truex Jr., he barely got himself into the playoffs with a late season charge, and now Kyle Busch to the lead. Now, Jay, when we did our NR 2003 season last year in 2021, Kyle Busch went winless, and he missed the playoffs. That was one of the big shocks to us there. One of the things, obviously, we ended up getting wrong. What do you expect to see out of the 18 Toyota Camry here for JGR this season?
Well, he needs a rebound year in our 2003 season. He needs to have a better year than he had last year, and certainly Martin Truex does as well. He went on fire in the playoffs, but before the playoffs, he was much like Kyle Busch, pretty quiet, and then just happened to get himself going at the right time in the regular season to squeak in and get himself inside the playoffs. And Kyle Busch, he just had a rough year from the start. I mean, that was wrecks at almost every single track to start the year, and then he finally got in at the same time at Truex. He kind of got going, and then he stopped, and he went right back to where he was performing beforehand and getting wrecked and having really bad races. So for Kyle Busch, he needs to have a rebound year this time around and have a much better year than he has previously. And right now he's leading this race early on, and he's also got a couple teammates behind him to work with. Actually, all of his teammates behind him to work with.
All of them right there with him. Truex second, Bell third, Hamlin battling for fourth with Tyler Reddick, another young driver that we expect to see continuous improvements out of this season here. Up on the outside, Hamlin actually jumps up there along with Joey Logano as well as Kevin Harvick. Everybody a part of this pack right now. Nobody has lost a draft. 3 wide for second. Already quite competitive racing. We should mention, like we said, the stages. Stage 1 comes to a complete as soon as we complete lap 25, and then stage 2 closes as soon as we complete lap 50. No pit stops required in the first 2 stages until we get, of course, into stage 3. There will be 1 pit stop necessary here. You think lap 10 will be the first caution? Chat, what do you think? What's the first caution here of the day? From the testing I've done, 105 was kind of that sweet spot where it can go either way. We could see a really big accident, or we could actually keep it clean the whole way through and see this racing right to the end of this race. Of course, green flag pit stops. Jay, that's really the last thing we want to see a part of this race, but obviously we know to expect it at least in stage 3. But unfortunately, the way it works here, and we see it in real life too, it's really no different. Green flag pit stops always ends up separating the pack quite significantly.
Yeah, and no shortage of that on NR 2003. I think it always is a guarantee to happen on here. Sometimes it'll not happen in real life, but on NR it happens quite significantly. And usually you won't even end up with a pack. Sometimes you just end up with one car that's out in the lead and everybody else is just kind of strung out throughout the track, and they don't even have a pack anywhere, and really hardly anybody even drafting. So hopefully we don't get to that point. Hopefully we have some kind of at least minor incident in stage 3 that prevents that happening. I don't want to see a big crash happen until maybe towards the end of this race. But hopefully there's something that brings out a caution in stage 3. But right now, I mean, 3 wide all throughout the entirety of almost the entire
They're going to be
pack.
4.
4 wide actually there for a moment. 4 wide is not going to work, and they still are 4. They're going down to turn 1 here, 4 wide. We may see our first crash on lap 6. Wow, they actually got it navigated
So far, but they're still 4
Watch
wide.
Those 2 in the middle there, Haley and Reddick. Those are the 2 that might make contact, and they actually get it settled out somehow.
Wow, what a job. I'm not going to lie, from the testing I've done, the one big accident I saw was because they went 4 wide. Very impressive that they got it sorted out, but obviously, Jay, it's only lap 6. We still got 20 laps coming to 19 laps to go in stage 1. These guys clearly not hesitant at all to put their car on the line here, as we see now Chase Elliott go to the top of the board.
And Chase Elliott, he's out here, he's out front all by himself, and he can block all 3 lanes if he wants to. You can see him blocking middle lane. Now he goes down to the bottom to protect the bottom side, and he's going to lead that high lane all the way up there without any kind of blocking. And actually, no, he goes to block a little bit of both the middle and the top lane right there. So he's working all 3 lanes right now, and at some point that's going to wind up getting him wrecked, because one lane is going to gain momentum just a little bit too late before he can notice it. And if he goes to block, he's going to wind up getting himself wrecked. So still early on in this race, he needs to be careful about doing that.
Ryan Blaney leads the top, but you see right now Justin Haley, he's actually in line with the 16. You got the two colleague cars here in the middle lane working together as they dive down into turn 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. We didn't expect to see it this early, but what's really cool about this mod that I've noticed myself from testing, Jay and I have done a little bit of testing in here and there, and we've noticed that the pack here, they really do actually like to do different things. It's not 3 wide the whole way through the whole time. Sometimes they'll go down to the 2 wide. They have their moments where they calm down, and of course we're going to see that throughout this race as well. Now, as Jay, we're seeing right now, I mean, 4 cars to the inside, a bit of a breakaway, but actually the 16 of Allmendinger, he's going to look to the inside now of the 31 of Haley, but still, you're already seeing maybe some guys trying to separate themselves out of that main 3 wide pack and kind of calm down a little bit up front.
And there's one thing that's still consistent with these cars, and that is a single file line is incredibly faster than the guys behind them going 2-3 wide. So if we see another 4 or 5 car breakaway and able to get single file and stay single file, we'll see them pull away a bit from this pack, and they'll eventually get ran back down, but they will they'll pull themselves a gap a little bit. And right now, I mean, you're seeing Justin Haley and Chase Elliott kind of do that a little bit just by themselves, but they'll eventually get reeled back in by this pack behind him, and Bowman actually going to block up the top lane there. That was a little bit close, and a little bit close almost with his teammate Kyle Larson as well. Bowman all over the track.
And there you see Elliott now out in front over that 31 of Haley down the back straight away. Bowman there, P3 in line, and of course he's been very strong in real life with qualifying recently. Kyle Larson on pole in the real life Daytona 500 here this Sunday. There you see him 4th in line, the defending, of course, Cup Series champion here. But now, right there in that pack, you see the 3x3 action. Now you're seeing right at the very back of that pack, maybe someone starting to lose connection. That's actually David Reagan and the Rick Ware machine here as they go down through the tri-oval. Jay, Rick Ware Racing, they picked up a affiliation actually with I think it was Stuart Haas Racing coming into this season. I mean, we don't necessarily expect big things from Rick Ware Racing, of course, but I think that this alliance, I guess we call it, with Stuart Haas is a really big opportunity for Rick Ware to maybe step up and maybe even be a midfield competitor at some times throughout this year.
And the biggest thing that I take out of that, no matter what their performance is this year, is at least they're showing that they are trying to make their NASCAR team better and get a little bit more performance out of it, and also fielding less cars this year, deciding to go down, I think, to 2 or 3 cars instead of the full-time 4. So again, showing that they are trying to at least be a little bit, or at least have a little bit of improvement and be a little bit more competitive than they were before, and not just kind of use it to run their cars and make money off of it. So that's the part that I take away. The biggest part I take away is that they're at least showing they're wanting to be somewhat competitive in NASCAR and not just here to make money.
Kyle Larson's going to hang out as Hendrick Motorsports teammate there. Chase Elliott is going to go to the inside, but once again, you're seeing once Hendrick Motorsports is really able to get out in front, they can kind of take command and calm this pack down as you see the Hendrick duo side by side. Hello once again to everybody just joining us potentially there. I see CW Racing, Tyler Hoover, Harvey's Geography videos, as well as Eddie. Hope you guys are all having a good day here now, and thank you very much for joining Jay and myself here along with this NR2003 2022 Daytona 500. Now, we do this every single week. It will be just normal videos from this point on after today, but stay tuned as we continue to simulate the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. Now, Jay, we're starting to see a little bit of that calmness come into effect. Like I was talking about, they have their moments in this pack where they do the 3x3x3 the whole way through, but then they have moments like these right here, which is really good to see, where they kind of calm down, take a deep breath here, coming up on the halfway point of stage 1.
And still, you got people back towards the middle of this pack that want to make moves and still find their way forward. So you still got the 3 wide even happening back there as well. And Ryan Blaney actually hung out a little bit on the outside. He's got Briscoe now moved up to the top double a little bit. And you can also see Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace there in the middle. They're hooked up. They're new teammates. They're going through the middle right now, trying to find their way towards the front. And you know that's something that both Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin want to see. They want to see better performance out of their cars this season. Obviously, Bubba Wallace getting that win at Talladega last year, but they did not have the kind of year that they expected to have. So this year, bringing in Kurt Busch, also with this new car, this new opportunity they have to really start fresh, be alongside all the other teams. I think they're looking for much bigger things this year, and Kurt Busch, I think, is going to bring a whole lot to that team.
Absolutely. I mean, Jay, we look at Bubba Wallace. This is the first time since he's come into the Cup Series that he's actually going to have a teammate, and honestly, he's got a really good teammate with Kurt Busch there, who's got a Cup Series championship back in 2004. Obviously, many race wins, a lot of experience under his belt. I mean, there's not a lot of better people you could pick out of the current Cup roster to come in and be a teammate, maybe even a mentor to Bubba Wallace, who's still in the early portions of his Cup Series career.
And not only just experience there for Kurt Busch, he's also still very competitive as well, shown that he can still win races and still be very competitive even at the latter stages of his career. So Kurt, I think, is going to bring a whole lot to that team, whether it be competitiveness or whether it be just mentorship to Bubba Wallace. It's going to be a whole lot of things he brings to it, and going to make that team a whole lot better. Even if he's only there for just 1 or 2 years, he's going to do a whole lot to that team. And right now, I mean, they're doing a lot better in this race. They're working together. They're starting to make their way towards the front of this field and still being aggressive, pushing it 3 wide. But you look back up towards the front. I mean, Rick Hendrick, they're up here in the front of Daytona, and this is exactly where they want to be. They're always trying to be up here in the front of the Daytona 500.
Absolutely. They got Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, William Byron, a few extra rows back, but they're all in the mix, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that 3-wide action again. The intensity starting to pick up, coming to 10 laps to go in stage 1. I'm not going to put out the caution here, but I know some people always ask, how do I throw the cautions? I just simply hit the little key next to my 1 on my keyboard. I go in here, I type !1, yellow, enter, the caution comes out manually. Very, very straightforward. You will see me do that command basically moments after they start the final lap here in stage 1. You want that pace car rolling as early as possible to reduce any potential stack ups on the exit of turn 2, causing some cars to run into each other. So basically, as soon as I can throw the caution, I will be doing that, because they do race it back to the line in NR2003. So it's not like the caution comes out and the field is frozen. No, they race it all the way back to the line before the field is frozen. So that adds another element here as well, if we actually get a caution caused by an accident now, as we still see Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott side by side. Jay, right now, I mean, other than Larson and Elliott, we're seeing a lot of Chevrolet presence up here in the top 10. Clearly, we were looking at this week, maybe Fords were going to be the cars to beat. Well, here in NR 2003 right now, the Chevrolets are establishing themselves as the top manufacturer right now.
Early on, too, the Toyotas are really strong up front. We had all 4 Joe Gibbs cars right up front leading this race, and then they kind of faded a little bit. They're still up here. We still got Kyle Busch up here. We now got Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch coming up through the middle. So there's still some Toyota presence, but like you mentioned, a whole lot of Chevys and not a whole lot of Fords up here. The first one I see is Eric Almirola and Brad Keselowski. They're down on the inside. And not much more Ford presence than that. You got to go back to Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney there in the middle of this pack. So Fords, perhaps, I don't know if their strategy is early on in this race to kind of just ride and make it towards the end of this race, or if they're truly kind of struggling a little bit. But so far, Chevys, I mean, they're showing they want to get right to the front and lead this thing.
We're about to see 4 wide here potentially now with Blaney, Logano, Harvick, 3 Fords. Yes, they're going to take William Byron 4 wide. The second time we've seen it there, I got a little bit close quarters. We watched the overhead cam. Look at the 12 and the 4. They are door to door through the trial. Well, Jay, I mean, 4 wide, you can make it work, but it's not going to work long as the 4 nearly tagged the 22.
Yeah, not any separation between those two at all, and somehow they've made it work this far.
Oh, they made it.
Settled out right there, and somehow, some way, they wound up settling it out and getting it worked out. Almost immediately when you see 4 wide here, you start expecting a wreck, because those 2 cars in the middle have no room, and they will genuinely run into each other. But that time they didn't, and Tyler Reddick actually looks like he's making a move 3 wide for the lead.
There he goes. Now is Larson. He's going to be on the outside of that number 8, 3 wide for second place. Elliott still in command. Bowman's going to get hung out there up at the very top as they exit turn 4, closing in towards the final 5 laps here shortly in stage 1 there. I think we're about to see 4 wide again. No, Keselowski thinks better of it. My goodness. Yeah. I mean, Jay, we're seeing no shortage of aggression here so far in Daytona.
Yeah, and they're starting to get towards the end of the stage, so they know they're getting super aggressive. We saw it get filed down to 2 wide. There was still some 3 wide in the pack. Well, now virtually the whole thing is 3 wide once again. And I mean, Keselowski there he put his nose down under there to peek 4 wide and thought better of it. Luckily, didn't do it. That probably would have caused a wreck going into the trial like that. But Keselowski, he's trying to make his move towards the front right now. We're now seeing Eric Almirola and a bunch of the Fords. As soon as we mentioned they're not really doing that hot, there's a whole group of them right there together that are coming towards the front right now. There's 4 on the middle lane, and there's another one on the bottom right there.
Absolutely. There you see them there. Keselowski, Almirola, Harvick, Ryan Blaney as well. The 31 of Haley. He's going to try and look to the inside here, potentially, of Tyler Reddick. Now a bit of an opportunity here, hopefully, for these guys to comment. Down 6 laps remain in stage 1. Larson still side by side with Chase Elliott. Since these Hendrick cars got up here, the only one that's been shuffled really back is the 24 of William Byron. Now as they head down this back straightaway here. I mean, at the back of the pack, you still see everybody's still here in the very far back background, you got Villeneuve as well as the Rick Ware driver of David Reagan, and they're all, like we said, still holding on to that main pack here now as we see 3 wide for the lead here. Elliott on the top, Larson middle, Tyler Reddick on the inside. Jay, we briefly touched upon it. Tyler Reddick, I think Chad would probably agree with this one. We expect to see a lot out of Tyler Reddick here. He continues to just improve in the few years he's had here in the Cup Series, and I really wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see him get his first win of this, or his first career win this season, and maybe that could happen here in NR 2003 today.
Yeah, I think that RCR team as a whole is going to be improved massively based on just their team performance alone, but also the 2 drivers as well. Tyler Reddick, obviously, a great talent in this sport and is going to be winning races and contending for championships soon, and much maybe this season. And certainly, I think he's also helping out Austin Dillon as well improve as a driver. So that team in general is getting a whole lot better, and they're in a much better position than they were several years ago. And Tyler Reddick, he certainly looks like he could be in a great position to make a run at some wins this year, maybe even a deep run into the playoffs. And if things are true as well with this new car, being that the team performance is not going to be that much of a, there's not going to be much of a gap. It's all going to be more on the drivers. I think we're going to see Tyler Reddick have a whole lot of success.
Absolutely. Here, actually, a question in the chat for Jay from Sanox says, Jay, how did you get the ratings for these cars? I know Jay has his own little kind of rating system. Jay, here, is there a bit of a kind of quick recap you're able to give on the rundown of how you kind of do the ratings here in this series for these cars?
I pretty much have 4 tiers of drivers, obviously top tier down to 4th tier. And then I do, like, let's say for the top tier, their bottom is 90 and their max is 100. And then 3rd tier, their bottom is 85, their max is 95, and it just goes down by 5 for each tier. And so that's pretty much how I do it. And then I have a weird system for their pit strategy, how I do that. Their aggressiveness, everybody's aggressiveness is 90 to 100. And then it's a little bit more separation for qualifying and for the reliability as well. But it's basically just a system that I came up with last year to make the ratings as consistent as they could be, but also still have the less performing teams in the lower spots in the field. So so far it has worked out pretty well with the last mod, and I'm hoping it works with this one too.
Absolutely. Here, in a future video, I could maybe actually give you guys a quick run through of what it actually looks like and whatnot with the tiers that Jay explains. Things have calmed down quite significantly here in the last couple of laps, coming to 2 laps to go in Stage 1. We saw Kyle Larson and Elliott get shuffled back just a little bit, but once again, we're seeing Larson Elliott battle back. These Hendrick cars looking very, very strong early on in this Daytona 500. Jay, as we've seen Bowman, we've seen Larson, we've seen Elliott up here. Byron's been shuffled back a couple times, and he's once again shuffled quite significantly back outside of the top 10, but clearly these other 3 Hendrick cars are going to be a serious force to be reckoned with as long as they can keep their races mistake-free.
And there's been no shortage of racing between these 3 as well. I mean, we've seen Larson and Elliott shuffle positions around each other several times, and now Larson's taken him or Elliott and Bowman 3 wide, and they're not really being scared to race each other still and show that they want to be better than their other teammates, but at the same time, they also want to keep their organization up here at the front too, I would think. So maybe towards the end of the stage, perhaps they would think to work together a little bit more, but I mean, we're seeing here on the last lap, they're still 3 wide and not a whole lot of help for either one of Kyle Larson or Alex Bowman. They're kind of in the middle, and Chase Elliott's got a really good pusher and Tyler Reddick right behind him.
Final lap underway here in Stage 1 now. As you see the caution lights on the screens right there by the track on the catch fence, that means as soon as I get to the line, the field is frozen. The top 10, as you guys know, are all awarded points here. And it looks like as of right now, it's going to be Chase Elliott winning Stage 1 here for the opening race in the Daytona 500. Does Kyle Larson have anything for him as they exit turn 4 down the front straightaway? Chase Elliott will cruise to the Stage 1 victory. Larson second, Bowman up there towards the top 5. Keselowski there in RFK in the team's re-debut, we'll call it, the little design for that team. They're up here as well in the top 10. The caution is out. You see the top 10 on the leaderboard right there. It goes Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Keselowski, Bowman, Chastain, Justin Haley, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, as well as Kevin Harvick. This is where we always get scared. We hope that we don't see any checking up, and from my testing, as long as I throw that caution early, they usually will not run into each other, and fortunately, well, we're getting exactly that. Everybody is nice and calm and being nice to each other. Jay, a bit of a notable here. At the back of the grid, that is the number 21 of Harrison Burton, scored 40th right now in this race, second to last. I mean, maybe he's just playing it safe because we know that car, it's capable of a lot more from the testing I've done. I've seen is very well capable of a lot more. So maybe Harrison Burton, the rookie here, just playing it a little bit safe here in this Daytona 500 here in stage one.
Certainly not the race that he would want to be having so far, but like you mentioned, back there in 40th, sorry. Uh, just stage one though, so certainly a lot of time to still gain the way forward there for the driver of the 21. I mean, you saw there that entire first stage. I think every single one of these cars was in that lead pack still, so certainly nothing to be too worried about yet. But I think you would like to be in a better position than 40th place if I'm Harrison Burton. So I think we'll see him try to work his way forward in that end stage two here. I'm not really sure if there was something maybe that caused him to go back there, like he got loose or got put four wide and had to drop back to the back. I'm not too sure, but obviously not so great so far, but nothing to worry about yet.
Chase Elliott leads the field into the pit lane here along with Kyle Larson now as, of course, pit stalls all over the place here from Daytona now as we're looking out the right-hand side of Chase Elliott there as everybody's going by. Not where your pit stall wants to be. If you're Chase Elliott there, you're still relatively far up the grid. But, of course, you want pit stall number one here if you can in the Daytona 500. Now, chat, got a few laps, of course, until we find ourselves green flag racing once again here. But as we look at the race off the pit lane, I mean, wow. Keselowski, Jay, catches everybody off guard. He's going to win the race off there. And he finished, P5, I think it was, in stage one. So an exceptional stop there from that team. And Kyle Larson, I think, is the biggest loser. He's down towards the bottom half of the top 10.
And that was probably all just based on pit box position for Brad Keselowski, because I noticed that everybody else, when they pulled out, they had to be extra cautious and extra slow about pulling out of their box because there was a car right in front of them they didn't want to hit. So Keselowski might have had a free bonus there, maybe either having a pit stall right behind a garage entrance, or maybe whoever was in front of him wasn't in their box yet, and he got to get out and get in front of this field, and now will lead the Daytona 500 with his brand new team, and that puts, like you said, Kyle Larson way back in the field as well.
Absolutely. So stage one complete. Stage two comes to a close as soon as we complete lap 50, and then it's a dash from that point on for the rest of the race there to decide who wins the Daytona 500. Will we keep everybody clean here? We've seen a couple of four-wide moves that got really close to being an accident, and they both happened at the front of the pack, so I wouldn't rule out a big accident here at any point in this race really now. But once again, hello to everybody here. Jacob Briffy, my day was good. Hope yours was as well, and I see you guys talking about in the chat with tutorials and whatnot. Absolutely, if I would recommend anybody that you want some NR2003 tutorials from, the Ben Crazy is the person you want to go for. Look up him. I mean, really, really good content if you want to learn about NR2003 and how to set it up and get it working properly for you. You got an off-the-wall question?
Here for the
Amp?
stage 2 start, by the way. Yeah.
The only problem is I can't turn up anything.
True.
So you know what? We'll pass on that.
Okay.
We'll do it next week. But if he was an actual NASCAR driver, we know he'd be the first driver with a K-pop walkout song. But question is, what song would he choose? Oh, let's see. How you like that? What up, Mr. Enderman? Huggy Wuggy Pro. Hope you're having a good one. You just got up in Australia at 6:30 in the morning. Goodness gracious. Well, shout out to you joining us here live in the Daytona 500 for NR 2003 at 6:30 in the morning. What did I miss? Not much so far, Jacob. We just completed stage one. Chase Elliott was the stage one winner. So we'll see if we can back that up. The first stage winner of the year goes to that number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Jay, I mean, not surprising to see Chase Elliott win the first stage of the year. He's always had a history of being very strong on these plate tracks with that Hendrick Motorsports equipment under him. And here he is proving that once again with this next-gen car. It doesn't seem like there's any difference for Chase Elliott. He is just as strong as he was previously in the Generation 6 car.
I think we'll see that for a lot of drivers, honestly. I think that we'll still see that if you know how to get it done in play tracks with Gen 6, you know how to get it done with next gen as well. It's just all going to be a matter of still trying to learn how the new drafting system works with it and trying to figure all that stuff out. But, I mean, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, guys like that, I think we're going to see them still excel at the plate pack or at the plate tracks. Brad Keselowski, too. Can't forget how good he's been at Talladega. Not so much success at Daytona, but for Keselowski, I mean, certainly he's almost like Dale Jr. was back in the day at Talladega. He knows how to get it done at that track. and certainly knows how to drive these cars around super speedways as well. So I think we're going to see potentially a whole new breed of drivers too learn how to drive these packages really well. But we will still not see Brad Keselowski, Elliott, all those guys fade away either on these super speedways.
Absolutely here. And now getting ready to go green this time by in the beginning of stage two. Now, one bit of a curveball with the restarts here in NR 2003 is they're all single file. So this does present the opportunity maybe for a couple of cars to lose the draft here on this restart. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. Maybe they'll stay organized enough to keep everybody in the main pack. But like I said, for any restarts from this point on, they will all be single file, just with the way the rules were in 2003 for the NASCAR Cup Series. Chat question for you guys here. So we go green on lap 30, so we got about 5 less laps here in stage 2 of racing. But what do you think we see here? Do you think we see a big crash in stage 2? Do you think it happens in stage 3? Or do you think we get through this race without a big accident at all? Like I said, from the testing I've done, it can go either way. It's really a 50-50 shot. And obviously, Jay, we've seen 2 moments already in stage 1 that could have easily been wiping out 3/4 of the field. I know we're thankful it didn't happen, because that would have been a boring race from that point on. But obviously these guys have proven they are willing to get really aggressive. And now we're getting, of course, into stage 2, closer to the end of this race. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another 4-wide move that got really sketchy.
Yeah, and I mean, towards the end of that stage, you really saw the action pick back up. There was a couple of laps where they went majority of the field 2 wide, and then we saw some 3 wide still happening in the back, and that group eventually made their way forward and still forced it to still be 3 wide the entire way home and into the end of stage 1. So I think stage 2 will potentially see them be a little bit more calm to start off, just because they're starting single file, and then it'll quickly turn back into that 2-3 wide racing that we had earlier. And hopefully, if they go for a wide again, we get the same outcome as we had before, where they're able to get it settled out and we don't have a big wreck, because that is one thing you and I do not want to see early on. Because we don't want to have competitors taken out early, but because B, since we can't force cars to retire, we do not want to see slow guys running around this track trying to, basically manipulating this race by not moving out of the way, and causing drivers to either lose the lead or lose the pack because they're getting slowed down by slow lap cars.
Absolutely, and that's something that affected some of our races last year, was some of these slow cars were damaged that we unfortunately cannot disqualify, take out of the race. They just are blatantly in the way here. So stage 2 underway from the Daytona 500 now, already 30% of the way through this 100 lap race. Single file restarts from this point on, obviously with the NASCAR rules, but we hope to see everybody being able to remain in the pack here for just this 21 lap. Stage 2, Jay already. Hendrick Motorsports Chase Elliott aggressive jumps down to the inside. He takes the lead, clearly establishing that he really just wants to be in command of this whole race at this point. But actually, before I can get that out of my mouth, he jumps up to the top, and here comes Ross Chastain to the inside.
And a whole lot of momentum for that inside lane. Really nobody up top right now. Pretty much everybody down on the bottom except for those top 3 there: Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and Tyler Reddick. So that's going to give a huge boost of momentum there to Chastain and Joey Logano there on the inside. And we have 2 of the most aggressive drivers in the entire field leading that inside line right now. I'm a little bit scared, I'll be honest, if we see either Chastain or Logano to go and make a bold move right up here at the front. And we saw Logano last night make a bold move in duel number 2 and created the first wreck of the season with these next-gen cars, and obviously took full blame for it. But he's said coming into the weekend that he's not going to drive any differently, that he's still going for 2 Ws, now just 1 W. And he tried it last night, pulled a dumb block, got himself wrecked, and we'll have to see if that mentality changes for him on Sunday, but I guarantee you it won't.
And now what you're seeing here behind this main group of cars is the rest of the cars starting to try and suck up to this main group. So you got a couple of slower cars, underfunded teams that of course don't have the same amount of speed that some of these top teams do, and that kind of was causing a little bit of separation. But now you're starting to see, like I said, everybody starting to suck up there. You got Bubba Wallace with help from Ricky Stenhouse Jr., William Byron, Kyle Busch, and these JGR cars quite a ways back. Jay, we saw the JGR crew right up at the front earlier in this race, and right now we're seeing the majority of them here in the back half of the field. Maybe a bit of strategy going on for them, because we obviously know they have the capabilities to win this race. Each and every single one of them do.
And the smart thing for all these guys to do is to get single file, because if they do that, they'll be able to easily draft back up to this lead group here. But if they stay double file like this right here, and I mean there's some big names going double file right here, like Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, Kurt Busch there in the 45. They're choosing to stay 2 and 3 wide in this group, and it's not going to gain them any time. I mean, they need to get single file if they want to catch this lead pack, and so far they haven't lost it, but they're going to get close to it if they don't get this thing figured out quickly.
I see a little bit of damage there on the front hood. of that 18 of Kyle Busch. He's got a little bit of damage. I don't know if that's hurting his speed or whatnot. You can just barely see it there as the hood is a little bit pushed up on that 18 there, but not significant. Like I said, it looks like it's not having any issues holding on in the draft, but I could be wrong. But there's definitely a little bit of damage on that number 18. Chase Elliott's still out in front now. Logano to the inside of Ross Chastain here. And now keep in mind, stage 2 comes to a conclusion at the end of lap 50 here, 3x3, right at the front of this pack now as they go down towards that tri-oval. Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman up here in the mix, and right now you see Martin Truex Jr. there about 5th in line on the inside. He has no teammate help really whatsoever currently here now. But Jay, what's awesome about these plate races in NASCAR is you got an opportunity for a guy like Eric Jones right there, and that number 43 for the RPM GMS team, now a newly rebranded team. Well, here he is up inside the top 10, and that's what's great about these plate races. It gives a guy like Eric Jones in an underfunded car the ability to spice it up and maybe even have a chance to win this race here today.
And I mean, it may be a little bit unfair to still consider him to be underfunded because he's now got that petty GMS team name there, and obviously GMS coming into the sport, they're going to want to be competitive. They're going to pour lots of money into both him and Ty Dillon in that 42. And just again, like I mentioned earlier, I think that the team parity is going to be a lot closer this year, and we're not really going to see team performance as huge of an effect as it was with the previous Gen 6. And that looks like Kyle Busch actually just came off the pit road.
Oh, that's going to cause an accident.
He breaks his teammate.
Truex.
First crash.
Truex, Kurt Busch. Oh my goodness.
Busch involved. Others
more cars.
down.
Byron. Up and over. It goes to 24.
Oh, I just saw others in the back of the pack still get involved as well. ARCA brakes on NR2003 once again.
Kyle Busch causes the big one, and William Byron goes up and over. Greg Biffle involved. Cole Custer. Cindric the rookie.
Cindric.
Unbelievable. The 19, he's already in the pit lane. The 2, there's the 45, the 17. They race it back to the line, and multiple cars with lots of damage. Kyle Busch just caused a big accident here, midway just about through the second stage. Wow, Jay. I mean, I had pointed out Kyle Busch had some front-end damage there, and I mean, I didn't realize he had come to the pit lane, and what he does, he comes back out on track, and the pack just didn't navigate, or Martin Truex Jr. didn't navigate around him correctly, and just drove straight into the back of him, and just took out a good 10 cars.
He actually Kevin LePage the field this time. There was no almost, there was. He actually did it. And, I mean, for Kyle Busch, not only to take out his teammate in the process, but he takes out a big chunk of this field. Kurt Busch and his brand new team was in there. Austin Cindric, a whole lot of drivers who were in the back of the pack, perhaps back there because they wanted to ride and be safe. Well, they didn't ride and be safe. They decided to still also keep a full throttle into a wreck because a whole lot of them had a chance to slow down. They didn't and got themselves involved, and that is a big chunk. And now we're going to see how many of them are able to get that damage repaired and still be competitive, and how many of them are going to either DNF or just be riding around very slow and have an effect on this race.
Yeah, well, no matter what now, Jay, we know there's going to be some curveballs thrown at this one throughout the rest of this race here in the Daytona 500. We're going to get a look at what happened here. Let's just come in and see what everybody does here, assess the damage before we take a look at the replay now. Actually, let's just jump right to the replay here now, as it all started with that 18 of Kyle Busch. And I had mentioned 5 minutes or so ago that Kyle Busch was had some damage there, and we saw him right here. He was exiting the pit lane, still some front end damage there on that hood. You can see it just a little bit. It's really hard to see, but you can see it. But he comes back onto the track, and like Jay said, Kevin LePage style, well, here comes the pack closing in on him, and well, it's going to lead to this right here. Martin Truex Jr. drills him in the rear end, the 31 of Haley involved, and then somehow we didn't wipe out the first part of the pack, but Kurt Busch, the 78, the 19, the 17, Cody Ware, Greg Biffle, Cole Custer, William Byron, they're all up and over, flying all over the place. JJ Yaley, David Reagan as well. And wow, Jay, what a large and unexpected incident that just was.
I think the biggest thing that we just saw right there, and I don't think either one of us thought of until right now, is the fact that these cars taking so much more time to get up to speed. They're going to be so much slower coming off a pit road, and that was, I mean, maybe 120 miles an hour there for Kyle Busch compared to 200 there for William Byron. So I mean, the speed difference is going to be huge coming off a pit road this year, and that obviously had a big effect in it. I mean, William Byron right here actually did a pretty good job, and then David Reagan comes in and decides to finish the job and just send him flying in the air. And I mean, he actually did a really good job of getting slowed down for it. Minimal contact. And David Reagan said, "Nah, you're getting in it, bud."
And I mean, as well, Kurt Busch. Let's rewind the film and look at Kurt Busch here coming into this accident. He is actually well off of this accident, and he backs it down. Whoops, I went to the wrong camera there, so that didn't really do us any good, did it? So let's go and rewind that once again here. But yeah, he plows right on into this accident. Oh my goodness, he nearly had it cleared. But Jay, you know what? I think we're seeing these composite bodies even coming into effect in NR 2003 because that car still looks raceable.
I bet you though he's got some pretty good damage under the hood to his engine power, and he
Oh, he's
actually looks
out.
like he's DNF'd. So yeah, wow, that is already what 7 cars DNF from this race. You got William Byron, Martin Truex Jr. Let's see, that looks like the only 2 big names. Greg Biffle making his potential one and only start this year, DNF'd and in last place. David Reagan there. So I mean, yeah, I mean already, and Austin Cindric a lap down too. Looks like Daniel Suarez. I don't know if he's getting damage repair or not. I
He
thought he
was
missed that
involved.
wreck.
He got a little bit of it. He was up there by the
Okay.
wall.
So some damage repair there for the 99, but obviously not enough, I don't think, to DNF that car at all. Actually, there's more retired too. The Cole Custer there, Kurt Busch. So I mean,
Landon
some big
Castle,
names already out of this shit. Yeah, Landon
Justin
Castle too.
Haley.
31, Justin Haley starting to not a good start for that colleague car, and for Justin Haley either. He was hoping to have I'm sure, a good Daytona 500. Obviously, a previous winner here at Daytona, and wanted to have a good rookie season with that team. But the race or his season not starting off so well because Kyle Busch did not get going at all off the pit lane.
Yeah, like the chat says, the Kevin LePage meme returns. Chat, what do you think of that one? That was a wild moment here. And now you see Suarez still in the pits. Cindric trying to run down the field. His car looks pretty good, so we'll see if he actually has enough speed. It doesn't sound good, though, from my end here. But, I mean, just looking at the cars that visually have some damage here, you can obviously see the 21 car of Harrison Burton, who's ran in the back in stage 1 trying to play it safe. Well, that ends up biting him in the back because now he's completely missing his front bumper. So that's going to be a car that's slow. Kyle Busch, he's got no rear bumpers. So, I mean, surprisingly, Jay, I think that the majority of the cars that were involved are actually out of this race. But obviously, we still know there's at least 1, maybe 2 to 3 slow cars here for this restart.
And that's
now
all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it takes is 1 to create chaos at a plate
Yeah.
race, and we're gonna have 2 or 3 potentially.
That Burton car is definitely
It's gonna be
slow.
terrible.
That's going to be way off the pace. And I mean, Kyle Busch maybe most of his damage looks like it's in the rear of that car. But Harrison Burton, I know for a fact that car is going to be way off the pace, and that might be one of those where we see him every 5 or so laps. And Daniel Suarez actually still on pit road.
His car looks okay from this view. I'm surprised to see them spending so much time here now, as we will be going green flag racing this time by after the first accident of the day here, and it's going to leave us just 11 laps to go in stage 2. So even if there is slow cars, hopefully here in stage 2 at least, we're only going to have to deal with it maybe 1 time. We're about to find out obviously here relatively soon, but wow, what a moment that was here. A bit of a curveball thrown at us, and now if we have slow cars on the track, we're going to have a curveball happening here every 5, 6, 7 laps or so, and nobody's safe because, Jay, we just saw for the first time this pack had to deal with a slow car that's off the pace. Well, they absolutely obliterated everybody, so there's the potential for that to happen multiple times from here on out.
And hopefully this time around, if we do run into Harrison Burton like that, hopefully it will not be as slow as Kyle Busch is. But you got to think about it. The fast speeds of these cars now by themselves, I think we saw them get to like 180. And so the slow speeds, when the cars that have damage, they're going to be doing 140, 160, and the cars in the draft still would be doing around 200 because in the draft they still will go speeds they previously did. So we may see the speed difference be even larger than we had before, and that may be an even bigger issue for some of these guys. So I don't know what to exactly expect, but I do know we're going to have them be slow, be off the pace, potentially be in the way. If they're 2 wide, they might be able to navigate around that lap car, but if they're 3 wide, we're certainly going to see at least 1 lane get slowed up, if not a big crash.
Absolutely, and yeah, what Sanok said, I'm a time traveler. This is the real life race that you're witnessing right here for the Daytona 500 now. And as we're getting ready to go green for a restart with 11 laps to go in stage two, Jay, the first thing that pops up in my mind after this whole debacle that we just witnessed is remember Kyle Busch's luck in this series last year? It was the worst thing we'd ever seen, and he missed the playoffs, didn't win. Well, he's not starting this year any better in this series.
Yeah, certainly not. And we actually didn't. I wanted to check and see what it gave him that original damage, but uh, doesn't really matter in the moment. And actually, Harrison Burton looks semi okay right now. Actually, I was expecting him
He
to
looks a
be.
little slow. I don't know. Kyle
I mean,
Busch is going
certainly
around.
slow, but not as bad as I thought because he didn't hold everybody up there terribly. Certainly slow, but I don't think he's going to be as bad as we thought he was going to be.
Daniel Suarez, he's back on the track a lap down. Now I mean,
He's
can
staying
the
with the pack.
21? Well, we're about to find out if he can really hold on to this pack right here, though. That's the big question. Even Kyle Busch doesn't look like he's lacking too much, but you can see he's already lost the slipstream here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3 cars maybe not fast enough to hold the slipstream. Not sure about Suarez because he was still catching up to the pack, so we really don't know about him, but he already looks faster than the few cars in front of him. But somehow we still have, I mean, everybody right up here together. 10 laps to go in stage 2 from the Daytona 500, and once again Chase Elliott finds himself out in front of this race here with Keselowski, Briscoe there in P3 just behind him. Now Keselowski's going to jump to the inside. We've seen no shortage, Jay, of aggression from Brad Keselowski so far in this race. He wants to make a statement here in his first race with this RFK team here, first points race I should say, and here he is right now. I mean, surprisingly, he pulled to the inside, and actually Elliott was able to get a bit of a run and actually get back clear into turn 3.
Yeah, Brad had Briscoe go with him for a moment, and then Briscoe decided to hang Brad out, and he had no help and lost that ground that he was going to have there on Chase Elliott. But Alex Bowman and Joey Logano wound up jumping down there to go with him, and now Brad jumps up to the high side. Chase Elliott kind of running in the middle of those lanes a little bit. Now down to the bottom for Chase Elliott, but he is way out in front of both of these lanes here, so they're going to get a little bit of momentum on here, and it's going to be interesting to watch if he chooses to block both lanes or just sit in one and make them slow down for him. But that outside lane, they only got 3 cars at the moment, and look like they're still able to hold pretty good with his inside lane, so you can certainly make 2 wide work here with only a couple of cars. And Ty Dillon, actually, I just realized he's up here in the mix for this thing as well. So obviously that Petty GMS crew, they have some speed in those cars because the 43 is right in front of him too.
Absolutely there, yeah. You see Ty Dillon up here in the mix. Bubba Wallace, Logano there into second or into third place, sorry. And then I mean a little bit further back, Jay, look at this. We got Noah Gragson up here in the top 10. I mean a great run right now for that number 62 team. Of course, we know Beard Motorsports a very limited team on parts. I mean every team right now is struggling with parts, but this team especially, they don't have a backup car for this weekend in real life. And we know that team, not a lot of funding there. And here they are, having a great run, capitalizing on the chaos we just saw there a few minutes ago.
And you know what I'm noticing right now at this very moment is there is a whole lot of big name drivers sticking around towards the back of this group, just barely hanging on with the lead group. I saw Denny Hamlin back there, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, some others as well. I think Eric Almirola is in that group. I can't entirely tell yet. There's a whole lot of them back here. You got also Kevin Harvick, too, AJ Allmendinger, Ryan Blaney just barely holding on back there behind Jacques Villeneuve. And now actually Denny Hamlin's starting to make some ground up a little bit, but still they're all hanging back in the back here, not really wanting to be up towards the front. And I think perhaps that wreck a moment ago is sparking this.
Ryan Blaney at the very back of that pack there, just in behind the 1997 Formula One World Champion. There you see Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Cindric, and that 21 off the pace. And Jay, you know, I mean, if we compare speeds right now with that 21 of Harrison Burton, he's going 175 miles per hour versus the leader.
Not
Is
terrible.
200. So I mean, it's a 25-mile-an-hour difference right now as it looks as they go down the back straightaway. So that's still obviously going to be quite a big curveball thrown at these guys. I mean, we look at Harrison right now. He's in between turn 1 and 2. The pack is just coming out of turn 4. We're coming to 6 laps to go in stage 2. So that means they very likely are going to have to deal with that 21 car of Harrison Burton before the stage comes to a close, probably with a few laps remaining.
And luckily, though, he's not going as slow as I thought he would, and I think that maybe he at least has a chance of sticking with a couple of cars in the draft. He won't be able to stick with his lead pack, but maybe if a couple of cars fall back there with him, he'll be able to stick with them and at least utilize some speed in that car. So thank goodness he's not as slow as I thought he was, but still definitely going to be a factor if they catch him. But this pack has gotten a whole lot of energy researched into it recently. You know, we only saw 3 or 4 cars up on the outside lane. Now there is a whole bunch in the outside lane. There was almost 3 wide there for a moment. This pack has gotten a whole lot of energy left or back into it now, and that second group that was laying way back, most of them are now up here towards this lead group and want to make their way towards the front because stage points are coming into play here.
Denny Hamlin's the one I've had my eye on. He was towards the very back of the main pack, and now here he is trying to mix it up here in the top 10 as they dive down into turn 1. 5 laps to go in stage 2. Joey Logano second in line. He got 2 Chevrolets leading, 2 Fords there on that second row. Bowman, Elliott, Hendrick teammates, Kyle Larson there on the outside. Only 3 Hendrick cars remain. William Byron was taken out, went up and over in that accident here about 10-15 minutes ago, stirred up by Kyle Busch, who still remains in this race here in this 500. But Jay, the one trend we've seen, chaos or not, we've seen the same thing, and that is Hendrick Motorsports in command of this race. And right now, it seems like it's going to take a lot to maybe break that up, because, I mean, right now they're occupying both lanes. They've got this exactly where they need it to be.
And Chase Elliott has been up front pretty much the entirety of this race and done a really great job of it. Alex Bowman's been up here for a good chunk of it as well. Those two doing a fantastic job, both of them controlling the lanes right now. And Alex Bowman just getting that little bit of an edge in the corners, and you'll see Chase Elliott pull back on him on the straightaways. And neither one of those drivers are really getting an advantage on each other at the moment. And actually, Eric Jones peeking to the inside of Keselowski there, but not going to take it, not going to force a 3-wide this time around. But, you know, he wants to get to the front, too. He might force it at any moment. And Harrison Burton there, he is getting ever so closer to this pack. But just coming to 3 to go, I don't know if they'll get to him. But they certainly will in stage 3.
And there you see Bowman and Elliott side by side as they come through the trial. 3 laps to go in stage 1. Over 100 people watching live. Thank you very much here to everybody that is watching along with us here. As we just said, 3 laps to go in stage 2. There is Burton. There is the pack. They are going to run down Harrison Burton before the stage comes to a close, so they're going to have to deal with him one time. Jay, perfect case scenario, they all navigate their way around him. He doesn't hurt it too much, but obviously, as you can see, we're about to find out exactly what's about to happen.
And the one thing we don't want to see them do before they get to him is go 3 wide. They're 2 right now. Let's hope they stay 2, and they're actually going to catch him a lot quicker than I thought they were. So coming off turn 4, they're going to be there. And it looks like they're going to go and split. No, Harrison moves up to the high side, and he's actually going to block the high lane. Chase Elliott has to navigate around him, and now Chase Elliott gets blocked. That entire high lane and some of the inside lane. Now he goes down to the bottom, too.
Oh, he can't decide where he's going.
Yeah, and he's blocking both lanes at the moment, and Noah Gregson's going to have to try and get around him before they go into the turn. So we got at least one lane not getting blocked, but that entirety of the outside lane just got blocked, slowed down, forced to sit behind him, nowhere to go, and we are once again dealing with lap cars being an issue on NR2003. That didn't change with the new mod.
And that's something, unfortunately, we can't do anything about. You can't disqualify AI, and Burton is going to completely rob Chase Elliott of a potential stage victory here in Stage 2. Break up everybody here, and now we're coming to the final lap of Stage 2, and Alex Bowman is leading over that number 6 of Brad Keselowski, the 43 of Eric Jones. White flag in the air here in Stage 1, and once again, obviously not what we'd like to see, but the worst part about it is there's nothing we can do about that number 21 car here. If there was an option to disqualify him, get him out of the race, obviously we would take it, but only in online can you really use those commands, so it's really unfortunate here. But now, Jay, we have a race here for the stage victory, and Bowman right now might be in fortunate shape here because he's got a manufacturer in line to help him.
He does have a manufacturer in line to help him, but Brad Keselowski is certainly going to make this move if he wants to and try and hang Bowman out a little bit. And we're seeing them also catch Cindric, so Cindric is also going to be an issue too.
They're there.
Actually may be a little bit of an issue here for the leaders. Luckily, they're single file, and that's actually going to hand Alex Bowman the stage win. Brad Keselowski had really no chance to do anything there because Cindric was in the way.
So Hendrick Motorsports wins the first 2 stages here from the Daytona 500. Cindric jumps down to the inside, and I mean, perfect case scenario, maybe the 21 comes into the pit lane, calls it a day from Daytona now, but obviously we don't really expect much. You could do a LAN race with AI maybe, and then disqualify cars that way. That's certainly a potential option we could look at here in the future Sandock. It usually doesn't really play too much of a role, except for these tracks where it plays a significant role here now. And we have, of course, Talladega coming up twice this season. We have another Daytona race, and we even have that Atlanta race, which is expected to be a plate race. So there's a lot of curveballs here with these plate races with these slow cars, but We'll see what happens nonetheless. Stage 2 complete. You see the top 10: Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson. Then you got the 16 of Allmendinger. You got the 4 of Harvick, the 20 of Christopher Bell, Todd Gilliland, as well as Michael McDowell. And Jay, there's still a lot of big names remaining in this race. So you look at this top 10, and we're seeing a lot of names that are not names we usually see up here.
And I mean, that got helped out a lot by the lap car, but it also got helped out a lot by that big wreck as well that took out a whole lot of contenders in this race. And for some weird reason, Eric Jones is having to stay slow behind Austin Cindric, so that's going to give a big advantage here to Bowman and Brad Keselowski. Bit of a weird moment there coming to pit road. I don't believe that's something we've ever seen before. This race is certainly taking a little bit of a turn, but hopefully, like you said, we see the 21 maybe decide to park it here when he comes to pit road. I don't know if he will. He probably won't. We hardly ever see that actually happen. But him and Cindric are definitely going to be factors because Cindric got caught maybe 2 laps later, I think, or a lap and a half later. So both of those cars are going to be big issues in this race, and having 2 of them, or having 1 of them is bad enough, but 2 of them, that's even worse.
Absolutely, and we'll see what happens here. Now 2 stages complete. 1 remains, less than 50 laps to go. But we had a 20-lap run there in stage 2. Then, of course, we had a crash thrown into the mix as well, and you're seeing some stacking up right here. Now, hopefully everybody gets through there. Okay, Blaney just about creamed into the back of the Wonder Chastain, but fortunately they all keep it clean here. There you see that Floyd Mayweather number 50 car there, driven by Kaz Grala. What a crazy last lap, Jay, in duel number 1. What was a relatively calm, even boring race at times. We saw some last lap drama that went very unnoticed, literally until after they crossed the line. But Kaz Grala was able to sneak his way into the 500 in quite dramatic fashion in real life last night.
Yeah, and I personally thought that he was out of it, that he had no shot, and a bit disappointed about that. And then all of a sudden I hear Mike Joy start talking about did he make it into the race, and then they show the replay, and he somehow was able to find his way. Goodness gracious,
that was
that's
close.
A little bit sketchy right there. But he was able to somehow find his way into a group and just got past JJ Yaley and turned 2 on the final lap. So really, really happy for that team. They also picked up a sponsorship for Coda, so it seems like they're going to be doing at least more than 1 race this year. And hopefully we see them maybe build up eventually into a full-time team, having Pitbull, Michael Jordan, and Floyd Mayweather all with full-time NASCAR Cup teams would be absolutely incredible. And by the way, I don't know if you saw the tweet this morning, Gary, but apparently it's not Michael Jordan who owns a team in NASCAR. It's Mike Joy.
Yeah, saw that. That was funny. Someone didn't do their homework here. Now, hello to everybody once again in the chat. Ween the Weens here. How you doing, sir? D. Burke as well. Where's Marcus Ambrose? Well, he doesn't race in NASCAR anymore since about 7 years ago. But we see the 21 in the pit lane. Is he calling it a career? No, he's not. He's staying here with us. Thank you, Harrison Burton, for making our day so much better. Very quick pit stop for him too. He didn't even take tires. He just
I was gonna say the one thing that they can do, and we've seen him do it before, is take extended time to get more repairs done. Obviously, he didn't do that. Hopefully, maybe the 2 will, because he's still got a decent-looking car. And well, not really looks like for him neither. So we're gonna see the 21 and the 2 still be big issues in this race, just a couple of laps apart. And oh boy, this is gonna be interesting for the last 50 or just less than 50 laps to go in this race. They're gonna catch, I think it took maybe 8 or 9 laps for them to get to that.
Right around there, 8, 9, 10.
More to get to the 2. So, oh boy.
It's going to be interesting. Hello, Jasper Stormbreach. What's up? By the way, guys, no videos going out today. Obviously, this is the focus of the day, was this live stream. Tomorrow, the NASCAR My Driver Series should, hopefully, be premiering after the Xfinity race. I have F1 My Driver. I just recorded the Jeddah Saudi Arabian GP today, so that'll be going out here maybe on Saturday as well. Probably not, because I have a very busy day tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch me live on Twitch, actually, at Traction's channel. You look up Traction GG on Twitch. I'll be live at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on their channel, streaming some Daytona racing on iRacing. So that's going to be a fun time, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys there tomorrow and come out and support me. I'll make sure to let the Discord know and whatnot here. Now, as we'll be going green next time by here from Daytona. We're excited. Jay, one thing I'm noticing, Brad Keselowski has a pretty good pit crew, because they've gotten in the lead twice now under the caution pit stops, and I wouldn't be surprised if that plays a big role in what we might see some green flag pit stops be what determines the finishing results of this race.
I think we need to take a moment next time they're down pit road and try and see where that pit box is, because I think that either it's a combination of his crew or it's the fact that he has got nobody in front of him and he can just pull straight out into pit road without having to go around a car. Because, like I said, I noticed that everybody, they had to pull out of their pit box and there was a car in front of them. It slowed them down and really put them in a bad position where they lost spots. And I mean, maybe the same thing for Noah Gragson and Jacques Villeneuve as well, because they're somehow both in third and fourth in this race now. And my goodness, what a debut that is for Jacques Villeneuve and that new team. And then Noah Gragson, obviously, with that Beard Motorsports car, like you mentioned, not a pretty much the smallest team in this Cup Series. And right now they're running third place in our race. Pretty good race so far for that 62 team.
Xero Nova, thank you for the kind words, by the way. I do appreciate it. Hopefully I said your username right. Where can you watch the NASCAR races this weekend? It's on Fox in the United States as well as Canada, and TSN here in Canada as well. Now for international, outside of the western part of the world, not really sure. But I'm sure if you do a quick search, you might be able to find it. Just look up where the Daytona 500 is on TV where I live or something like that. You should be able to find something here and now. And I'm sorry to hear about that, Nova, by the way. Obviously, you know, when you come to our chat, it's always going to be a friendly vibe. No one's ever going to get made fun of here. And if anyone makes fun of everybody, obviously, we're just going to ban them for that. So you're always in a welcome space here in our community now. And where's Jay's Discord? Jay doesn't have a Discord. He's just a part of mine right now. Jay, before we go green, is there ever going to be a Jay Cook Discord?
I mean, I guess I need to, because I keep getting requests in my chat for it. So I guess I need to make one soon. I didn't think it was time for that yet, but apparently I do need to make one.
I mean, you're getting requests in my chat even, so I mean, I don't know. I think that might be a sign of things here. So stay tuned. Jay might have a Discord coming. If he does, I'll let y'all know. But nonetheless, pace car getting ready to pull in. 2 stages complete. We had one big accident, and now we've got some slow cars in the mix that are obviously going to present an issue every probably 10 laps or so. So we're going to get a good 4 or 5 moments that really could lead to some hectic moments now as the green flag is out. Stage 3 underway, and Jay was mentioning Jacques Villeneuve here in the number 27 up in the mix. Noah Gragson as well. I mean, Jay, like you said, what a debut this team is having right now. Obviously, it could be wiped away in a heartbeat with Harrison Burton on the track, but not thinking about that, not thinking about the negatives. What a debut they're having, and even that 50 of Kaz Grella's running up here in the top 10.
And Todd Gilliland too, right there in front of him. All people that we did not expect to have that great a race, and so far they're doing a really good job of it. And you know, there's certainly some factors playing into why they're having this good run, but still, it doesn't matter. They're having a good race so far, and Kevin Harvick, he immediately dived to the bottom of that restart. He got a big push from Alex Bowman, and he's looking to put some pressure on Eric Jones right now, who actually doesn't go down a block. So
wow.
Kevin Harvick getting a big push from Bowman still, and he might be able to go and take the lead of this race.
That's the 2007 Daytona 500 winner right there. Harvick is, as he's side by side with Eric Jones, who's won a clash here at this racetrack a few years ago on the outside. Bowman in line, and I mean, right now, Jay, we've seen quite a difference now. All of a sudden, Hendrick Motorsports not as prominent now. Bowman's the only one up there. Elliott here a little bit further back, and then Kyle Larson even further back. So Hendrick Motorsports, we talked about it. It's going to be hard to beat these guys, but obviously they've gotten themselves separated. They're spread out throughout this main pack. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to find themselves back up front.
Yeah, and certainly going to need to have a little bit of luck on their side as well, because last time Chase Elliott was leading this race, had a chance to win Stage 2, and got really held up big time by the 21 car there of Harrison Burton without any kind of front end.
He's gained speed.
He's actually he is looking a
8
little
mile
bit
an
faster,
hour.
but that's still going to be a big issue. The two car also in front of him too is still off the pace as well. So, yeah, not great for this race to have those 2 cars there being as slow as they are, but luckily we may not catch them as fast since they're a little bit quicker than they were previously. But
yeah, maybe
still
1
be an
lap
issue
extra
in this race. And also, I want to mention too, Daniel Suarez. This is 2 years in a row in our 2003 series, Gary, where Daytona has been absolutely terrible for him. He just got caught up in that wreck, had to go a lap down, and so far still a lap down in this race. Obviously, last year didn't even get to start it. I think he went 2 laps down because his engine didn't fire last year in our series, and this year was a lap down. And in our, it's incredibly hard to gain those laps back. So for Suarez, he's looking to have another rough Daytona 500.
You know what? There's still his best one going though in P26, but it lives up to the standard of real life. Daniel Suarez and his history in Daytona 500s has not been good. Actually, Daytona, not just Daytona, but plate tracks for Daniel Suarez has not been a good combination for him. And as a Daniel Suarez fan, I'm terrified for this weekend. That's all I can say now, as we see Alex Bowman going up the inside now, trying to take second place back from that number 43 of Eric Jones. Christopher Bell, who was kind of lurking in the back earlier in this race in stage 1 and stage 2, well, now he's up here in the mix. And Jay, maybe at the right time, we're starting to see some of these more prominent names get up here in stage 3, closing in already on 40 laps to go. We know from my testing a fuel run is anywhere between 30 to 35 laps with this mod so far at this racetrack. So we went green, of course, about lap 54, lap 55. So we expect to see these guys in the pits with less than 20 laps to go. So anywhere between really lap 80, 85 is where I expect to see them pit. So Jay, I mean, you know how these green flag pit stops really can just change everything at these plate races. If you're a guy like Christopher Bell or Chase Elliott here, Kyle Larson, you're really wanting to get up there now and trying to establish your position, especially when we have these slow cars are coming up on. So there's a lot of valuable things they got to think about before they even get to that green flag pit stop.
And you're potentially trying to find your teammate as well right now to get with and be hooked up with them, so that way you have somebody to at least guaranteed pit with. But for Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they're all pretty separated right now in this pack, and maybe there's a little bit of fuel saving and car saving going on with the guys who are still choosing to be in the back of this pack, like Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin. You're certainly not going to be able to save enough fuel to make it to the end of this race, but maybe you save just enough to take a little bit less fuel on pit road, maybe not have to do 2 cans, maybe only 1 if you're able to save some amount of fuel here. So we'll be interested to see, or it'll be interesting to see how these guys navigate getting onto pit road and how they navigate their pit stops as well. And who knows, maybe somebody in the back here can save enough to be able to jump up and get towards the lead of this race if they don't have to take as much fuel as some of these guys in front of them.
Chase Elliott, he is working his way back forward. You see Allmendinger up there in the mix, Kevin Harvick still, of course. And let's get an update, though, on where these slow cars are currently positioned on the track. Harrison Burton is in between turn 1 and 2. Cindric and Belt halfway, just about down the back straightaway. And while the pack is already heading down towards turn 1. So we are just a handful of laps away, maybe 3-4 laps before this pack runs down that guy right there, Harrison Burton. So, I mean, he goes down into turn 3 as they head towards the exit of turn 2. So just a little bit over a straightaway separating these guys. And by the way, yes, this is AI, the real cheeser, and hope you're having a good day. Thanks for joining us now. As Jay, we're seeing a lot of calmness in the pack, but I mean, I don't think that's going to matter when they get to that Harrison Burton car, because we actually saw just 2 lanes side by side when they reached him the first time, and we saw the difference that made. That really destroyed Chase Elliott stage 2, and he had to spend that whole time getting back to where he is right now there in P3.
And it looked like for a moment, the first time they caught him, they were going to maybe be able to split him. And then he decided to move up to the top lane and then back down to the bottom lane in the tri-oval. So for Harrison Burton, I think this time around, maybe we'll see him be a little bit smarter and hold one lane and they can navigate it as a way around it. But I kind of doubt that'll happen. We'll still see the AI block both lanes at some point. And it's really just going to be about positioning. And if you're able to find your way around him, luckily for these 3 right here who are not too wide, they might be able to find their way around him, whether it be bottom or top. Because there's no one next to him. But if you're too wide, you're going to be forced to stay where you are and just hope he doesn't get in your way. And it's going to be, once again, interesting to watch and see how they navigate it. And I mean, who knows? We might get lucky and see a caution before they catch him. But still, even if we get one now, we'll still see him a couple more times before the end of this race. So Harrison Burton, at some point, whether it be now or later in this race, will play a factor into it. And it'll also play a factor in the pit stops as well.
Absolutely. Now, answer a couple questions there real quick. I see your first race was Talladega 2009 that you watched. That was one of the earlier ones that I watched, actually, as well, when I just got into NASCAR. Are you going to any F1 races this year? Unfortunately not. I was trying to go to the Canadian GP, but it was all sold out. So that's unfortunate here, as we're seeing that 21 of Harrison Burton. He is just a few moments away from potentially impacting this race. We're about to find out here. I mean, Jay, look at the closing right as they exit turn 4.
And I mean, Harrison Burton, once again, choosing to stay kind of in the middle there. This time he goes to the outside lane and actually might be able to get split if they follow AJ Allmendinger. Nope, now he goes to the bottom. Now he goes back to the top again. Once again, same thing for Harrison Burton, diving down both lanes, blocking both of them for Chase Elliott. Luckily, this time around, it's better for him, but still that outside lane. I mean, Kevin Harvick there, Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones, Christopher Bell, Eric Almirola, lots of big-name drivers once again getting blocked up and held up by Harrison Burton. This time, maybe not so much this time around as it was before, but certainly still enough to lose them all a ton of positions. and maybe even connection with this lead pack if they don't get around him quick enough.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Burton just planting himself. Kyle Larson, the defending Cup Series champion there, he's going to be in a bit of trouble as well. I mean, not what you want to see. I mean, right now, this is why we would just wish so badly we could disqualify AI, because Harrison Burton is just more of a hazard than anything here on this racetrack. Now, Kyle Larson, he has an opportunity to jump down. I would hope to see him take it. Yes, he will take it now, as it looks like the rest of this grid, they're even going to take a 3 wide now. They're done with that number 21 of Harrison Burton as they all try to work their way around that number 21 car, the Floyd Mayweather machine driven by Kaz Grella, going to be at the back of this main pack. But Jay, it's not going to be over yet, yeah, because there's the next object that they got to get themselves through. So that's, I mean, by the time these guys slowly start to get regrouped, that's going to happen right there. They're going to run him down at an incredible rate of speed.
And luckily, for the most part, there's more single file this time than they were when they ran on Harrison Burton. But still, he goes up. Now he blocks AJ Allmendinger. Briscoe, for some reason, decided to go up to the top. He's going to get himself blocked. Ricky Stenhouse there as well. Luckily, only 3 at the moment. They're also mostly single file in the back, except for Keselowski, so they might be able to get this figured out before they get to him. But, I mean, once again, the lap car is just playing a huge role. And, we might be going 4 wide.
They are going to split them, maybe. Here. Oh, Allmendinger, no, he's going to back out of it. Maybe the smart thing to do there. Maybe not risk it too much yet. The 2 is not playing as significant as a role as that 21 was, thank goodness. But he's still playing, some form of a role as they dive down into turn 3. Keselowski's going to get held up by his old car here in that number 6 now as he's stuck behind that 2. But up front, I mean, it made things single file. I mean, Jay, the fortunate thing is it really didn't separate anybody.
Yeah.
So there's a positive out of this all. And I mean, now are these guys going to run down anybody else anytime soon? That's not the 21 and the 2. Well, there you see Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez. They're exiting turn 4. So those guys, we don't have to worry about those 2 anytime soon here now as well. We get a caution before they have to deal with them. That's always a possibility as well. But Jay, we know that energy is going to start shifting here. Everybody's got an opportunity now to group back up, and they got some time to try and reform and, of course, get back into that just condensed 2 by 3 potentially wide pack. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that to start form here within the next couple of laps now that they've gotten past those slow cars.
And I noticed on the edge of the screen there as they were coming off turn 2, Brad Keselowski got blocked all the way back to the back of the pack, and he's now the next to last one in the group besides Kaz Gralla right behind him. So for Brad Keselowski, he got really the real bad end of the stick there and went from being up here in contention for the lead to all the way in the back of the pack now. And I think we'll be able to see him stay with the group that he's with and maybe run down the leaders again, but certainly putting them in a rough position right now. Kyle Larson back here too. Still some big names who are separated from the main group at the moment, but luckily, I mean, you can see there they train all the way up towards the front, and that front is actually already too wide. They're getting racy up there in the front already, and not going to take long. I mean, when you got guys like Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin up here and Joey Logano, it's not going to take them long to get real racy at all. And you know what Chase Elliott wants to do. He wants to get back into the lead of this thing and get hooked up with his teammate.
Absolutely, Chase Elliott, he has been strong all stream long here in this Daytona 500. He's going to look to the inside of that number 22 Pennzoil Ford Mustang, driven by Joey Logano. They're the 2018 Cup Series champion. Logano is alongside the 2020 Cup Series champion in Chase Elliott there as they battle it out for second place. But, I mean, still, Jay, I mean, Hendrick Motorsports, they got broken up, and, I mean, at the end of all of this, they have still had a Hendrick car leading this race throughout the whole way, it feels like. So what's it going to take down one of these Hendrick cars to win this race if you're anybody else in this field?
Another wreck or another really bad block from us, or from either Cindric or Burton, who really hurt both Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson in this race earlier. Obviously, Larson's still back here suffering from it, but Chase Elliott back up towards the front of this race right now in third place. And for a moment, this very lead group, they got 2 wide, almost a little bit of 3, and you could see a little bit of hope light up back there in that second group because that's exactly what they want to see. But still, a big majority of the cars in that second group over the first one. I think they'll still be able to run down this first group and still be able to stay with the lead pack, but it's certainly going to take them some time because they're not here yet, and they've been fighting it for several laps. And, I mean, I would bet that we're not far away again from already meeting that 21.
Well, there he is right there crossing the line right now, and we are down into turn 3. It's just a couple of laps, really, until these guys run down Harrison Burton, and that's going to, I mean, of course, once again, present another potential accident here and now, as you genuinely never know. And the pack is just now starting to really have that energy form. Casgrella, he's lost connection, unfortunately, here with the main pack. You see him all the way back there by himself. So Casgrella in trouble there for that Floyd Mayweather number 50 machine. We'll see if he's gonna need a caution, obviously, to get himself back into this one, Jay. But with that 21 on the track, there's always that potential for that caution to happen.
Certainly is, and the two as well. Either one of them can cause a wreck, and I mean, I don't think we're done seeing maybe a wreck happen from 3 or 4 wide just naturally in this group as well. We got to see them get back together for that to happen. But you notice Noah Gregson ran him down that second group. They're taking themselves 3 wide, kind of hurting themselves at the moment, but still able to catch this main pack and work their way up towards the leaders again. But I don't know if we're going to be able to see Brad Keselowski or Kyle Larson really catch this group, because they all have almost lost connection with the second group. And you saw Chastain there in the one car, he has lost connection with them as well. So if these two don't get it figured out, they're going to wind up losing connection and not have any chance of getting back up towards the lead pack here unless they pull something off on pit road.
Well, you know what doesn't help is when they race each other side by side.
Yeah, exactly.
They've completely potentially messed themselves over, and Kyle Larson's refusing to get in line with that number 6. He is clear. You can see it right there. He is clear. He could get down, but it doesn't look like he's going to take it till right now. Are they close enough to hold on to that slipstream, though? That is now the question.
It's possible, but they're going to have to really... Kyle Larson's going to need to push Keselowski, and it looks like he's not going to do that. And the further they slip back, the less and less draft he's going to get, and I think they're in danger right now of where they are, of losing connection. But, I mean, we look back up here at the front. We got Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. They are connected to each other once again, but... as soon as they do that, I mean, that 21 is
Larson,
probably gonna be caught this lap.
Larson and Keselowski's opportunity to get back up here is about to ignite, because these guys are about to be slowing down here within another 25 seconds or so. As you see that 21 cruising, and yeah, they are about to be running down Harrison Burton again as they go down into turn 3.
Right when they get back to 2 wide.
Yeah, this is not good. This is. I mean, Jay, at least they're not 3 wide, but obviously it doesn't seem to matter how wide they are. They're still gonna struggle with that 21.
Yeah, Bowman. I mean, you can see there. Every time Bowman has to check up massively, and he got lucky again. Chase Elliott. Oh no.
Oh, not Elliott again.
Second time this race, Chase Elliott on the outside lane gets blocked by Burton. This time Burton does not go down to the inside, so the inside will get by him quickly, and maybe we won't see them get as strung out like we did before. And actually, Chase Elliott might take a 3 wide. Smart move there from him. That might have just saved him and that entire outside line. Bubba, don't go up there. That's not smart. Oh, Bubba and Todd Gilliland might have just screwed themselves, because they are going to be pushed back to the back of this group and might lose connection with it now. And you see there, Keselowski and Kyle Larson, they're here now.
They're there, yep. And the 21
goes down to block the second lane now. He can't make up his mind.
Oh, he's going to go to the inside.
And the inside lane.
Worst driver I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. Now as he's going to cover off, he's covering off 2 lanes now. The 10 and the 23, they can't get around him here. Now we are closing in, by the way, on green flag pit stops here within another 10 laps, so stay tuned on that and how this could throw a curveball at the race. But Bubba Wallace stuck directly behind that 21, and they have to get in line quick, and they have to work together. This little group right here does, if they want to hang on to this pack right here. But I'm sure it's not too long until, well, there it is right there. There's the two of Austin Cindric, and somehow another Hendrick car continues to find a way to lead this race. After every time we go through these slow cars, every curveball that is thrown at this pack of cars, we're still having a Hendrick car leading the way, and that is Alex Bowman, who's really been in control of this whole third stage so far. Jay, Elliott once again with a setback. I mean, not as severe as it was in stage 2, but it was still a setback. He's still right there in the main pack, and he's not too far back. But obviously, I mean, you really can't get away with 2 or 3 setbacks here, especially at this point in the race when we're closing in on these final pit stops.
Yeah, Chase Elliott did a really smart thing there, pushing it 3 wide as soon as he could into turn 1, and got himself to stay at least within the lead group this time. And there's not as much separation as we had before, but still certainly some separation up towards the front of this group. And this second pack right here, I think they are actually hurt this time. I don't think they have a chance, even if they were all single file, to get back up to the main group. So now they're going to have to hope that Cindric slows them down, because if Cindric doesn't slow them down enough, the second group, they might be disconnected for the rest of this race unless there is a late race caution. And we are approaching green flag pit stops. We have seen them create cautions before, but with the field being as spread out as it is right now, it may not be a huge issue getting slowed down for pit road.
Well, it might not be spread out for long. They're running down Cindric. I mean, there's another thing. I'll talk about it as soon as we get done dealing with this two car here. Another point to bring up now is Elliot's going to go 3 wide. You don't want to be 3 wide right now, boys, as they exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. And you see that just menacing looking number 2 car. Where's the 48 go? Where's the 2 go? Bowman's going to go to the inside. They stack up a little bit. The 16 gets shuffled out to the top while they try and split them 3 wide. No, they're going to ride directly behind the 2 car here of Austin Cindric. We saw them take it 3 wide briefly. Yeah, taking it to the top would be the last thing you want to do right now. But Jay, I mean, that second pack, this is their maybe one and only shot now before the pit stops even have a chance to get there.
Oh, no, I was just about to say, unfortunately for them, that pretty much the entirety of the first group got to go by on the inside, but he pulls down to block all 3 lanes that are there once again in the tri-oval, and well, now we have a second and third group formed. Third group might be able to catch them here, and Austin Cindric still getting in the way massively there, the second lane, and now the third lane too. I mean, my goodness, that was almost great for this entirety of the first group. They almost got all single file to get by him, and he had to pull down in the tri-oval and really screw this whole thing up. And now we've got a big separation between all 3 of these groups.
Absolutely. Now is the thing I want to talk about with these green flag pit stops that are about to kick off that second pack. If they can find a way to get around that 2 car, they might have a chance to actually stay in the draft range. But that 2 car is going to plant himself directly where you shouldn't plant yourself there. Oh my goodness, the 7's going to go by on the inside, the 10 as well. Oh, we got a little bit close right there. Bubba's going to go to the top, and he made the right choice, and Larson's not going to make the right choice. He's going to stay in line. Not very intelligent there from the 38 or the 5. The 12 car desperately trying to get around on the outside as they come through turn 1 and turn 2. Oh my goodness. I mean, Larson might have a chance right here if they can hold that draft, but I don't know. It doesn't look very good for them. But now it's 2 packs again. This main pack right here, and then that second pack. Elliott, again, to second place. He finds a way to get back up there. But Jay, they shouldn't have to deal with that 21 before green flag pit stops. Green flag pit stops coming up, and I wanted to bring up, obviously, we saw what happened with Kyle Busch when he came out of the pit lane. I mean, it might not be the entry we're looking at. It might be the exit that we really need to pay attention to.
Yeah, he was certainly slow getting up to speed, and all these cars, they take a lot of time to get up to speed now. And yeah, you're not wrong. You got a good point there. If this second group or whatever group it is going by at the time is 2 or 3 wide, there may not be a lane for them to go, and they may wind up running into whoever it is coming off of pit road. So yeah, pit stops can play a big deal here on a lot of things, both entry and exit, and too getting into your box and getting out of it as well. During green flag pit stops, you don't want to be slowed up by somebody pitting in front of you, and you don't want to have any issues on pit road as well. So green flag pit stops are going to be massive here, and especially for that lead group. If they want to keep that gap that they have, they need to have as clean of entry, exit, and pit stop as possible.
Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman, as well as Chase Elliott working together. This group right here, they're staying all single file. Group number 2, though, they are 2.6 seconds back. Do they have enough speed with 20 laps to go in the Daytona 500 to run down that main group? I mean, right now, there's a lot more momentum in this pack. I mean, we just try to directly compare speeds. 199 to the back of Briscoe, who's 204 mile an hour, actually. So, quite a difference right now. It looks like, I mean, Jay, similar to what we're seeing in real life, in iRacing as well. The less cars you have in a group, it seems like the faster you go.
And it helps that for the most part, they're single file up here. There's a little bit of 2 wide. Actually, might have been 3 wide going on in the first group, but the second group, they're all sorts of 2, 3 wide in this group right now, and not helping themselves out at all by doing this. They're really going to hurt themselves, A, because they're not catching the group in front of them, but also B, because pit stops are coming up soon. You need to be single file going to pit road. You can't be 2 or 3 wide.
And they nearly lost a full second on that last lap here. So this second pack, they're in trouble. You see the main pack now, they're starting to go at it a little bit here. So, and you know what? They might run down that 21 actually before they make their final pit stops. Wow, that's crazy. So we are going to deal with Harrison Burton, I think, 2 more times. Same for Cindric, 1 or 2 more times. No, nah, actually, yeah, likely 2 more times. There's, oh, here we go. They're going to pit now. Bowman's in. Logano. Hamlin as well in the background. You got the 6, you got the 10, and the 8 car here for green flag pit stops. Now, Jay, what do you do here? Do you do 4 tires? Do you do 2 tires? Or just splash the field? I mean, you only got 17 laps to go here, or coming to 17 to go this time around.
Tire changes are so quick now. You might be able to get away with 2 tires here. We'll have to wait and see what Bowman does, our leader of this race. He actually going to jack up just the left side, so they're going to go with left side tires on that 48. That's very interesting. I don't know if I've seen that. And you see Reddick, they're going with maybe 4. He's getting at least 2 right sides, and everybody deciding here. It looks like they're all going to go with 2 tires. And what's really interesting is we had pretty split decisions there on pit stops. Only a couple cars from each group deciding to come in this time around. And looks like, once again, only one car from the lead group, two cars from the lead group, and then a couple others
And the
from the second
21.
pack as well. So this is going to really, yeah, and also the 21 too. This is going to, I think, make this race look a whole lot different than it was when they first came in. And luckily they're single file right now up here.
I think it's actually going to be really calm right here now. I don't really expect anything to kick off very much, but now it's more of a strategy thing. Who's going to get the strategy right? Like we saw in the duels, Bowman, I mean, was leading at the time of the pit stops. Look how far out ahead he is right now. I mean, Jay, him and Hamlin, and Keselowski, Logano, they're all very spread out and separated.
Everybody.
Yeah, there's going to be, of course, this right here, this pack right here, they might have the advantage.
And it's going to be, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be really interesting to watch how this folds out, because we've seen several times with the NR pit stops, it'll leave cars separated with no drafting partner at all. We've seen several times where there's just no draft towards the end of these races because nobody's close together for it.
Oh, Lord.
And wow, Stenhouse getting really messed over there on the exit of pit road. And Alex Bowman actually way ahead of Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott was not second place when they came into pit. So whatever he did, he got himself into second place, at least momentarily.
Look at the 47. He's still glued to the bumper. He's going to get his doors blown off by the number 48 of Bowman, who's going to cruise around the outside. He's all by himself still. Elliott will be in second place when everything is settled out here. And now, of course, we're just waiting to see who can get grouped up. This is the group we're watching. Kyle Larson, Jay, clearly made some big gains on the pit lane. I mean, look at him. Oh, Harvick and Jones are going to come in now as the leaders. But, I mean, Larson still nonetheless, that's a big gain right there for the 5.
Yeah, it certainly seems like they did a pretty good job on pit stops, but still...
Chase
Elliott!
Elliott! Oh, not again. That's the third time Elliott's had something go wrong. Look at the 14. Oh, he runs into the back of the 3, and no caution because they keep it clean. Thank goodness there.
We're seeing them deal with Cindric at the Burton there, sorry, at the same time as well. So everything happening here at once on these pit stops. They might be separated, but there's a whole lot of slow cars in the way between Burton being in the way of this pit stop happening, and also between the fact that cars coming off pit road are so slow. And now that group is going to be too wide. They're going to get hurt by Burton here in just a moment when they decide to go by him, and we'll have to see what lane gets hurt here.
It looks like it's going to be the inside. Briscoe is going to just stop himself, and now they're going to jump to the inside again. Now he's going to go middle.
Again.
He's going to go high. He's going to go low. He's going to go wherever he feels like now. And Chase Elliott is going to be, Elliott once again in the wrong lane here in Daytona. Very unfortunate for the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion. There's Bubba Wallace. He just came out of the pit lane, made his stop all by himself. So at the front, it's Alex Bowman right now who continues to lead. Harvick and Jones, Jay, they stayed out quite a bit longer than everybody. But it worked because now they're second and third place.
They didn't have to deal with Harrison Burton, I think, is the biggest thing, and that's why they're here where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stenhouse in 4th, Hamlin and his teammate of Bell 5th, or P6, and yeah, P5 and P6. They could potentially work together, but we're starting to see now, Jay, these cars are starting to group up, and Bowman's going to be a sitting duck.
He's going to get destroyed. Yeah, he's going to get absolutely destroyed here. Has no help either with any Chevys in that group that's going to get to him. So Bowman is going to get absolutely ran down. And Chase Elliott, did he just get by Harrison?
He just got by.
No, Chase Elliott might have lost the draft. He's got one person there, Austin Dillon, to help him, but that group in front of him is so large that anybody else in front of him might take off with that second group and leave Chase Elliott and Austin Dillon both in the dust.
It's about to get interesting because look at them. They are officially grouped up here. We got 2 groups again. I mean, a big group back there. A group here that is quickly running down Alex Bowman. And this is going to get spicy now as well. They're coming up on Kyle Busch as well as Daniel Suarez. 13 laps to go in the Daytona 500 here for the start of our NR 2003 season now. As it's going to get interesting. Bowman has no team help here. Elliott and Larson well behind him there. Larson's in that second group. Elliott, I think he's going to lose connection to the main pack. And Jay, they're not running him down as quick as they thought. And maybe Bowman could hold on to the lead here if he covers them off right, but it's going to get close.
I think you perhaps got a little bit of help there from maybe a big-ass bubble, or a big bubble from behind. Sorry. But Eric Jones there still going to be able to take the lead, and Kevin Harvick follows him right through. And Stenhouse, too, actually got really hurt by Harrison Burton. Somehow still found his way to be in third place at the moment. And, I mean, they're doing a really good job of navigating around Alex Bowman, and he actually did a really good job of also staying with this group. Now the top of 3 wide. And just again, I don't think there's only what 4 Chevys in this entirety of this group right now. So they're all separated in that second pack. They're also not single file either. That second group is going to take a whole lot of work to get them up towards this lead pack here.
It's been, I don't know how long since we've seen a Hendrick car not leading this race. Will Alex Bowman be able to bounce back now? You got the 47 of Stenhouse here. You got Harvick, but hold on, because just up in front of these guys, you got Kyle Busch and Suarez, who have decent speed. But then you got the 2 car of Austin Cindric. Then they will have to deal with that 21 here before too long. So there's still that element of, oh no, hold your belts tight one more time. And right now, that second pack, they did gain some time right there on that lap, so it might not be over for them. They didn't gain much. They didn't even gain a tenth, but they did gain. So that's something we got to pay attention to here now.
Helps when there is 3 cars I just saw that are going to be way in the way of the leaders here in a moment.
Wow, the 2 cars about to just really slow these guys up here as they dive down into 3 and 4. Chat, who do you guys got here in these closing 10 laps we're coming up on here? That second pack, they get a little bit closer. Logano and Briscoe lead that pack. Kyle Larson's in there, the defending champion. Jacques Villeneuve, the Formula 1 world champion from 1997 as well, and they are closing in. Within another lap, they will be all over the back of that 2 of Austin Cindric. Again, that time they gained about a tenth. That second pack is coming, and obviously, like you just mentioned, once they get to this 2 here of Cindric, you know he's going to be in the way. They're going to have to get through the 21 car one more time as well. I think these are the last times they got to get through anybody, but that second pack, they're going to be able to have a huge opportunity right here to get back in this race.
And I think if you're in that second group, you're hoping that Cindric really holds these guys up, and then Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez as well when they get to him. So that might be the saving grace for that second pack, but not a whole lot of time left in this race for them to gain the time, but they're going to catch Cindric here really quickly, and he's going to once again be able to block maybe both lanes because they catch him awkwardly into the tri-oval.
And it's going to be the outside that really pays the price for it. Stenhouse is going to be all by himself. Out front, he jumps back up to the top again, Cindric does. Bell goes through on the inside. That second pack is coming, and they are coming quick as they go down into turn 1. And obviously, Jay, I mean, this is just going to help that second pack, but then don't forget, well, they got to work through them. So
too.
Exactly, and right now, we're seeing them kind of actually maybe organize a little bit. This could be a huge opportunity if they can get themselves single file. And look, Jay, they're about to be in that drafting range.
They're very, very close to it. They caught a lot quicker than I thought they would. And fortunately for Hamlin and Jones and Harvick there,
oh, no,
they got disconnected from the lead pack, but they're going to be able to have the second pack help them. If Cindric doesn't pull down low, he's still going to slow up.
But they get there in time.
The first 4 cars.
It's not over now.
And Bubba might be able to get through too. No, Reddick, don't follow him up high. Put him 3 wide, and if they keep him 3 wide, they actually might be able to get everybody through here. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. As soon as he gets past, he goes back down to the outside lane, but really nobody's there. So actually, fortunately for the second group, they got through him for the most part pretty cleanly and not too far behind the lead group now.
And here comes Larson through. Here comes Jacques Villeneuve. What about Ryan Blaney, his teammate? He is going to as well get through. So we might be in for a big race here. Now they're 3 wide up front here with the 47 of Stenhouse, the 20 of Bell, the 16 of Allmendinger here. And they're 3 by 3 up at the front. They are for sure going to run down this 18 and the 99. They're not going to play a really big role. But the car we got to watch is right there, that 21. They're going to deal with that 21 car one more time before this race comes to a close. That's, of course, the one we're concerned about here now as they head down this front straightaway. 7 laps to go in the Daytona 500 here in NR2003. Hello to everybody once again. We hope you guys are having a good time here in the chat now. And Jay, you're starting to see that intensity pick up. We're seeing a lot more 3-wide moves. Here comes Denny Hamlin, who usually has a history of waiting to the right time. And here he is at the end of this race showing up.
And this is a time when you really don't want to be 3 wide because you're going to have to navigate the 18 and the 99 and the 21 still at some point in this race, and possibly even the 1 as well. I saw him up there. He's not off the pace, but he doesn't have any draft, so he's certainly going to be a lot slower than these cars here that do have draft. And that second pack, they're mostly single file, starting to gain time. You see Logano ever so slowly creeping back into
Look at
the
that
picture.
21. This is a
And
recipe for disaster.
Chase Elliott, too. He's way out of this group. Chase Elliott is all by himself right now, but that 21... goodness, he's about to play a big factor in this. Actually, luckily, for the most part, they got back single file again.
This is a good opportunity for them to get organized, but Kyle Busch is going to be planted right in front. Where are they going to go? They're side by side with the 21 in front. This is the worst case scenario for everybody here as they exit turn 2. AJ Allmendinger, not even a full-time driver or a full-time car, is leading the Daytona 500 here with 6 laps to go. And everybody that went to the inside made the right call. The 21, he's going to stay up top. And Jay, well, 2 packs are merging together here on these closing 5 laps, but that 21 still playing a huge role for the final time that they have to deal with him.
And all of a sudden, that 21 car may have just given Kyle Larson his chance in this race again. I see him there on the inside, but still not able to really do anything to get by that 21. My goodness, he is just all over the place, so incredibly slow. Larson actually not able to get by as quickly. So there still may be another second group because they could not get past this 21, and the cars in front are already gone once again. I mean, my lord, Burton, he's still just
Oh,
doing nothing but
Larson got
switching
through.
lanes. This is the worst we have seen it, where they're just doing nothing but switching lanes and blocking all three at once.
So frustrating to deal with that. And like we said, there's nothing we can do about it, which is even more frustrating. Of course, you're coming to the final 4 laps of the Daytona 500. Another curveball thrown here, and that's the number 1 of Ross
Does he have
Chastain.
damage?
It looks like maybe a little bit of front end damage there on that number 1 car. It's really hard to tell here. I can't tell if that's a graphical thing or if it's actually damaged. It actually looks okay. No, I think it's just because he lost the slipstream, but obviously he's still slower when they run him down because he had no draft. And here we are, 3 wide for second place again, down into turn 1.
And Joey Logano, that second group, now they're caught up to the lead pack because of that. And hopefully Chastain is able to get the speed up now that he has the draft and not really be too big of an issue for anybody else catching from behind. But that third group, I mean, look at them all single file back there, not really any close or not really close enough to each other to make a draft and a push really happen. So for Kyle Larson, he almost had a great moment of fortune to get back into this race. Well, it got ended very quickly, and he did not get past the 21. And there's several others back there too that also got really, really hurt. And AJ Allmendinger, that first race for him this year in that 16 car, splitting it with Noah Gragson, doing a great job leading this race so far. But Alex Bowman's done a great job this entire race, but also you got Joey Logano back up here now. I think if you're up here in this lead group, you see that 22 back up here in the front of this race, you're a little bit scared because you know what he's going to do in order to win this thing.
And well, he's here now with 3 laps to go. Logano wants to win another Daytona 500 here. We know he's aggressive on the play tracks. He's putting that to fruition here, as now he's looking for his second 500. He won previously back in 2015. Well, it's AJ Allmendinger, Joey Logano, Keselowski, Briscoe, Bowman, Harvick here up in the top 6, but don't count out even a Noah Gragson or a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here. Logano's going to make the move to the inside. Jay, maybe a little bit too early, but obviously he's making a statement saying he wants to be in command at the end of this race.
And Joey Logano not going to waste any time at all, getting back up here, finally back into this lead pack, and he's going to shoot right to the front of this race, not with any help. So neither lane right now really has an advantage over each other, but as soon as either lane gets some help, they'll get a push out in front, and either AJ Allmendinger or Logano will lead this race. But so far, the lanes from behind, they look like they're just not able to get the pull forward as quick as you would think they would. And that second group, they're actually hanging on a little bit better than I thought they would, but I see the 18 is still in front of them. They're going to have to deal with him too, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Coming to the final lap of the Daytona 500, we only saw one big accident. That was because of Kyle Busch doing a Kevin LePage. It's side by side for the lead. It's AJ Allmendinger. It's Joey Logano. Watch out for Briscoe. It's all Fords up here in the mix. Could Alex Bowman have anything? I doubt it at this point here. It's still side by side. White flag in the air.
And that second group back there, I just noticed they got really held up by Kyle Busch. If they had 0 chance before, now they have negative 0 chance. If that's even an actual number, which it isn't. But Joey Logano,
Clear.
I mean, he came out of nowhere to grab this lead, and so far he's able to control both lanes at this current moment. None of them really have a run on him, and he's going to go up and block that high side. And Joey Logano, I mean, he came out of absolutely nowhere and is leading this race on the final lap.
Does anyone have anything for him? I don't think they do as they go down into turn 3. Allmendinger, he needs to make a move immediately now. I mean, Logano leaves the inside available. Will Allmendinger take it? Yes, he does as they come through out of turn 4. It's going to be side by side.
No help for either one, though.
Who's going to get it? I think it's Logano down the front straightaway. Yes, it is. Joey Logano wins the NR2003 Daytona 500. Unbelievable now as well. I mean, I didn't think we were going to see Joey Logano win that race. He hadn't really done much all race long, and here he comes out of nowhere, Jay, in the final closing laps, getting through all of the curveballs with the 21 car, the 2 car. Somehow they didn't cause any accidents in the process, and at the end of it all, Joey Logano, of all people, has to come in and spoil the show.
He was separated from that lead group pretty much the entire time after the pit stops and just got lucky with, I think it was either Cindric or Burton slowing up that group enough to where he got caught back up to it and immediately just charged his way right through it. Didn't waste any time at all at going and grabbing this lead. And once he got it, it was really surprising to see really nothing from behind at all from anybody to make any kind of charge at him or Allmendinger at all to go and give up there and give some help. So kind of interesting finish to that race. We didn't see a run really generate at all from anybody behind them, and Logano was able to get out front, get the lead, and didn't really even get a challenge for it.
Logano is your Daytona 500 winner, and most importantly, Joey Logano is locked into the playoffs. And yeah, I mean, I see Chad talking about it. Noah Gragson, a great run for him, especially here. And let's check out the finishing order. And we're finishing up actually at a really good time. The Truck Series race is just getting ready to start here in just over half an hour. So good timing there. I'm surprised we didn't see crazy amounts of accidents. There was certainly potential, but Logano holds off AJ Allmendinger. Obviously, if Allmendinger won, he wouldn't be in the playoffs. He's not a full-time driver, so that wouldn't have affected the playoff grid, actually. But Alex Bowman finishes fifth there. Briscoe up in the top five. Keselowski, some really good runs, especially for these Ford drivers. Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 10 as you can look through the rest. I mean, Jay, a big notable here. Jacques Villeneuve with a 14th place finish. So, I mean, what a day and a debut for that team.
Certainly a very good race for them, and I think that's a lot higher than they were expected to get. And Todd Gillen there in 12th as well. That's a good start for his rookie year in that 38 car, certainly getting some good points to start off the season. And the Kaz Gralla, too. I mean, obviously, last car finishing in this race, but still, I think a 24th place finish for them is pretty good. Chase Elliott, he fell all the way down to 22nd place after leading a majority of this race. Ryan Blaney there in 20th. Kyle Larson down to 19th as well. So some big names finishing lower in this field. And then you have there Ross Chastain a lap down, Daniel Suarez 2 laps down, Kyle Busch 2 laps down as well. And then you got some big names, DNF, Cole Custer, Kurt Busch in his first start with a new team, Martin Truex Jr., who got ran over, or was the one who did the running over of Kyle Busch. William Byron went flipping in this race, wound up DNFing. Chris Buescher there in the 17. Greg Biffle coming back to the series for the first time since 2016, DNFing and finishing last in this race. That incident there, just in the middle of stage one, or in the middle of stage two, actually, really did cause this race to change forever because of that 21 car and the 2 car.
Absolutely. Here now is I mean, what a race it was. It was still a fun time. Chat, I really hope you guys enjoyed the experience here now, as it was fun to do this live with you guys and whatnot. But Jay, before I go wrap up my stream and whatnot, anything you would like to say?
Just a fun time doing this. I'm glad we got to do it live at least one time, experiment with it, see how it does. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the year within our. Hopefully, we don't have many races like that where they get affected by lap cars again. But yeah, really good start, really good try to stream it. And thank you guys so much for watching and watching us do this live for the first time is a little bit different to do it live, but I still enjoyed it and I had a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. And I'm also looking forward to the Truck Series getting started in just about a half hour.
Absolutely excited to watch that as well. Usually I unlist live streams, but this one, it's a part of our main series, so this one will stay public on the channel. You won't see it unlisted, so it'll be right there on the homepage of the channel. But I'm gonna mute up with Mr. Cook. I'll talk to you just in a few minutes, Jay. But everybody say thank you to Mr. Cook. But we are gonna, like I said, get ready to wrap things up here. As yeah, I mean, what a just race that was. It's unfortunate we couldn't do anything about the 21 car and the 2 car and whatnot. That was the only frustrating thing, really. I really wish we could have done something there, but at the end of the day, there's your winner, Joey Logano. I mean, after all of that, my rival in every racing game that has Joey Logano in it, he goes and wins. I mean, just you got to be kidding me. Who are you going to root for in the truck race? Honestly, I don't know, because I don't pay enough attention anymore to the Truck Series like roster. So like 3/4 of the grid, I really don't know. Is John Hunter still in the Truck Series? I think he is, right? So maybe let's just say John Hunter Nemechek is going to be my pick now. There we go. That sounds appropriate. I think John Hunter is usually a pretty good safe kind of pick to go with, but obviously it's Daytona, right? So anybody can win. My day was good, Mr. Riffy. How was yours? He is in the Truck Series. I'm just gonna go with John Hunter. By the way, guys, have a good night, CW, Cool Man Jero. Who won? Joey Logano won. Oh, Matt DiBenedetto's in the trucks. That's right. Yeah, John Hunter is still gonna be my pick. But if you guys are interested, I'm going to be starting a NASCAR Fantasy League on the NASCAR app again this year, just like I did last year. I'll probably work on getting that set up tonight or tomorrow. I got to go and edit the My Driver video to go out tomorrow, like within another hour or so while I'm watching the truck race, so stay tuned on that, because that, hopefully everything goes to schedule, will premiere tomorrow in the evening after the Xfinity Series race. Now, big things tomorrow, not on my channel, but I will be live on Twitch at Traction GG. I guess I could throw the channel link in here for you guys, but I'm gonna be live tomorrow on Traction's Twitch channel, which is gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm gonna basically be streaming NASCAR Daytona iRacing on their channel at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to go follow them, or whatnot, whatever you want to do. Go say hi. I think they're live right now with Justin, so I'm excited for that. Cool things ahead. You might see the Traction logo on my F1 car in the career mode here in the future, so some cool stuff on the way. You already added them on Twitch? Perfect. I'll let the Discord know tomorrow. If you guys are in the Discord, you guys will be well aware of when I'm going live there on the Traction Twitch channel. So I'm excited for that. Only going to be live for about 2 hours. Very quick. Go in, get done. You know, 2 hours sounds like a lot, but when you're streaming, 2 hours just flies right on by. So I'm excited nonetheless. Bobby Birch, you have yourself a good night. Same to everybody in here. Have yourselves a great night. I really do appreciate you all stopping by, watching, and I'm excited for this weekend of NASCAR. It kicks off tonight here in about half an hour with the Truck Series. Then we have the Xfinity race tomorrow and the Cup Series with the Daytona 500 on Sunday. So I'm excited for this weekend. Have a good night, Jacob Riffy. Goodbye, Twilight Sparkle is not amused. I think you had a question about F1 earlier, didn't you? I don't remember. It was hard to read the chat towards the end of the race there. But if you still have that question, I got a few minutes here before we wrap it up. I can certainly answer it. So, Angry Grandpa. I remember Angry Grandpa. That was a YouTube channel, wasn't it? Like way back in the day, like 5-6 years ago. Hopefully Chandler Smith wins, says Mr. Milkman. We'll see. He's a KBM driver, or is he on ThorSport now? I can't remember. Beaver, what's up? We're just wrapping it up, but hello. Hope you had a good day. Good evening. Yeah, we're ending. We're just finishing up here. Joey Logano won, if you're wondering. I don't have any points, of course, to share, but we'll start showing the points starting next week and after. So you guys will, of course, know what's going on there. But Logano won the 500. He is locked into the playoffs. KBM Ekis is at ThorSport. Okay. Alrighty then. Guys, I'm not going to keep you around too long. Go rest up. Go get ready to watch the truck race. Oh, hello, Tater. It was a good stream. Joey Logano won, if you're wondering. But yeah, you guys go rest up. Watch the truck race if you want. I think it'll be a good show. I think there'll be some crashes. And then the Xfinity race tomorrow. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow on Traction's Twitch channel and right here on YouTube as well with the iRacing My Driver career mode. There's Mr. Cook there in the comments section. But like I said, I'm not going to hold you guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for continuing to support us here on the channel. And we will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.